Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Arsenal 101. It's FA Cup day, Liverpool versus Arsenal. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Me and Gary's messing around with the stream. I'm looking for a BBC iPlayer at the moment. I think Gary's on the main terrestrial channel. Hi, Gary, how you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm very good, mate. Very good. My football was back for my under-12s today. Unfortunately, we went down 4-3, but I'm looking forward to this game now to hopefully bring me some joy over the weekend.
Yeah, I hear you, bro. And I just want to say something before I ask you a question about the team sheet. We don't have a great record wearing this all-white jersey, do we?
Well, this is the third time we've worn it, is it not?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, and we've lost both games.
Oh, I thought we won one, lost one. I know we lost to Forest.
Yeah, we lost.
No, we beat Oxford, did we not?
We did, but the performance was horrible, man.
Yeah, still counts as a win.
Yeah, it still counts. You got to count them all, man. You got to count them all.
You know, but we're facing a Liverpool team today without Van Dijk, without Salah. You know, it's a big opportunity to go into the next round here.
Yeah, it is, and I'm really happy to see the team sheet because we've been talking about the performances of some of the players, and we know that Martinelli's been first on the team sheet, game in, game out. So you've given him enough chances, and at some point you've got to say, "All right, mate, you're going to sit this one out." And Nelson, before last week, we were saying Reece Nelson had only had 63 minutes total minutes in the Premier League. Before, I think he played 27 minutes the other day. So he's got about 100 minutes in 20.
That's not enough, is it? In 19 games, there's nowhere near enough.
Not. Yeah, 100% right. It's just not enough.
You know, and you know, the people saying Apollo, oh, he's not good enough. He's this, he's that. Arteta gave him a 5-year contract, 100 grand a week. Yeah. That tells me that the manager thinks he's good enough. Or was why you wasted money on the contract?
Exactly, 100%.
You know, I don't want to hear that nonsense.
Yeah, so I'm going to go on to, let's have a look at BBC. Here we go, BBC iPlayer. So, right, I've just switched on now. Right, let me try and get some volume on this thing.
It'll be live on iPlayer, will it not? Same as the
channel. But I haven't signed in, and I'll probably do it halfway through the stream. And see where I am there. But here we go. I'm going to put my top on. Good to see Kai Havertz up front. Gary, talk everybody through the team sheet while you're at it, because I always
so
do it.
Obviously Aaron Ramsdale back in goal. I for one am pleased to see him back. The game's just kicked off. Ben White, we need an improved performance from this guy. You know, we was having a chat the other day on the group, and people saying, "Oh, he's injured this, and that's why he's not playing well." Well, if you're injured, sit it out, mate. If it's making you play that bad, sit it out. Saliba and Gabriel obviously picked themselves. Kirill in at left back. He'll be happy to see that Mo Salah is not there today. Jorginho comes in the 6th with Rice in the 8th. Odegaard, Saka, Reece Nelson on the left, and Kai Havertz up front. So I'm pretty pleased with the team sheet, to be honest. I think it's about time that Reece Nelson had a chance. I would have liked to see Smith Rowe maybe get a little start.
Yeah, I mean, let's.
And Arsenal playing it around and beat the press really nice there. Unfortunate the ball through up top to Havertz wasn't good enough from Ben White, and it's out of play.
So we've got Raya, Cedric, Walters, Sousa, Smith Rowe, Wanyeri, Trossard, Martinelli, and Nketiah on the bench. Right, let's get rid of the team sheet now. So while you're doing that, I've got to, hold on, let me put my jersey on. For some reason, I came out wearing a home top, which I probably shouldn't have done.
Yeah. Kirill comes across to cover well there after a little block tackle on the edge of the box that broke Liverpool's way.
Here we go. Good to see Aaron Ramsdale get his chance. I actually thought that he was going to play Raya today.
I was quite surprised. Not going to lie.
Fair on Ramsdale.
What a ball, Ramsdale! What a ball, Aaron Ramsdale! Go on, finish! Oh! What a ball from Aaron Ramsdale! 60 yards, sends Reece Nelson clear through. When he gets to the keeper, he's got to lob him. He goes round, the angle's tight, and he ends up putting it into the side netting. What a fantastic pass from Ramsdale.
Absolutely brilliant. Right, I've got my top on now, guys, so I'm ready for you. Right, I'm watching it now.
Those people that say Ramsdale is not good with his feet, have a look at that pass.
Brilliant. Brilliant. He doesn't do it enough, does he?
Well, I think he's done it more than enough. Maybe with the little short stuff around the box. But when he's hitting, because I always said that when it comes to the England squad, Pickford hasn't got that. Pickford hasn't got that long ball, 2 feet. As good as Ramsdale, in my opinion.
Well, you've got to put that down as a chance, mate.
Yeah, I think when it bounced up there, that was the time to lob the keeper. Oh, Kyrill's been caught out. Here comes Harvey Elliott. And Gabriel's there to block the cross. Kyril, bad mistake there.
Right, shout
come
out
on,
to
Reece.
And shout out
to free
Cam.
kick we've given away.
Good to see you guys. Hope you're doing well this weekend. God, we should be one. What a start. We should be one up.
Just when it popped up, that's when he's got to lob it. Free kick, dangerous area. Trent's going to swing this in. Ramsdale's organising.
Yeah, Vincey says, what a ball as well. I hope you're doing well. Blessings to you this Sunday, Vincey. 18 says, how's the lungs? You know what? They're a lot better. I think I'm about 90% there at the moment.
Trent swings the free kick in. And it's cleared everybody. And Ben White sees it out for a throw.
I was at a funeral on Friday, and I went swimming on Thursday, did some walking as well. I did a 3-mile walk. So it's
That's
coming
good to hear, mate. That's good to hear.
Coming on.
You was proper struggling, weren't you?
Oh yeah, I was. It's getting a lot better now. Vince says, really pleased with Ramsdale. Nelson, yeah, I think he should have. It's easier to dodge them at the side, but then dinking them, they don't expect the dink, do they, if you dodge it? Blessings to you as well, man. Blessings to you. Right. Gary, I'm going to try and activate my my now.
Go ahead, mate.
Right, let's just log in and see where this thing is.
Well done, Declan Rice.
Oh, it's asking me for a code. Okay.
And you got to link it up with the TV or something, can you?
Yeah, it's just asking me for a code, so I'm just going to put it in now.
Them things always do my head in. I ain't got the patience for that type of stuff.
BBC not gonna lie. TV code. Sorry, guys, it's so unprofessional of me not to get the stream before the game starts. But you know how this goes, man. You know how it works.
Go on, Saka. Go on, Saka. Go on, Saka. Hit it. No. Oh. Why didn't Odegaard pull the trigger there? It's on the edge of the box. On his left foot. Have a shot.
And I'll tell you what, you know, there's been a nervousness around Aaron Ramsdale's performances this season. But when you look at that ball that he played there, I mean, come on, that was quality, man.
Well, there's been a few things said about like the back four and missing his presence, and I think that's a point that could be possibly true. You know,
yeah.
Maybe Raya doesn't talk as much or shout as much, however you want to put it.
Okay.
Oh, what a throw!
Right.
And
yeah, Gary, sorry, read that comment from Vincey.
Lobbing keepers is all about confidence. I remember playing with Tony Cox and he had to tell me to try it. I did it. I did twice and scored. Not an easy skill. No, it's not an easy skill at all, Vincey. You're bang on right there. But at the same time, we're talking about players at the top of their level here. You know, we're talking about players that play for one of the biggest clubs in Europe. When that ball bounces up, if you haven't got that in either foot to lob the keeper, then maybe football ain't for you. Or at least to have the confidence to try it, shall we say. Because look at the end result of what actually happened. Nothing. Oh, scramble. How didn't that go in?
Madness. So Gary's got an answer here. Gary doesn't have Emerson today throwing questions at him, so it's a nice relaxing Sunday for Gary.
Oh, and Havertz brings the save out of Alisson.
Nice.
Yeah, well, you know what I always say, Vince, if you don't try, you never will achieve. Because the end result was no goal. The end result was to go round the keeper, the angle tight, you put it in a yard into the side netting. So even if you try the lob and you don't score, you ain't lost nothing because you didn't score anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Well, here we go.
Well, so far, opening almost 10 minutes, it's all Arsenal. We had the Reece Nelson chance. We've had Havertz bring a good save out of Alisson.
Right, finally I'm in. Bloody hell. All right, finally I'm in, Gary. Right, watch live. Yes, I have a bloody TV license. Yes, I want to knock out.
You have to produce it. You have to produce it.
Right, Gary, I'm 8 minutes.
8 minutes 46.
Oh, bloody hell. It was faster when I had the other one. I'll just suffer it.
It's the Arsenal build up again. Liverpool, nice compact behind the ball. It's worked out well to Reece Nelson.
Yeah,
Come on, Reece, it's only Trent in front of you, Reece. It's only Trent.
So that's part of Nelson's game. Nelson was second on the team in dribbles when Pepe and Maitland
Well played. Come on, move it.
They were our top 3 players.
Oh, why are you... Oh, Martin Odegaard. He's on the edge of the area. He's trying to thread the ball through that's never on. And the move breaks down and Liverpool come away. Saka's put in a challenge there on Diaz, I think, and Saka's just down on the ground. He hasn't got up yet. So he just may have picked up a tiny little knock. But Odegaard's got to get this out of his game.
Yeah.
He's trying to find this pass. Recycle the ball back, but the pass was never on there in a million years. So
Yeah,
Saka's got a little hobble on.
It's good to see how assertive. Look how Nelson's being double teamed now. Look how
Diaz accidentally steps on the back of his heel, right down his Achilles. Accidental.
Right, I'm 9 minutes 25 seconds.
10 minutes 10.
How did I just do that and go back 10 seconds? This is nuts.
Arsenal in press, and Liverpool got nowhere to go. Go on, Saka. Go on, Havertz. Finish. Finish. Oh, it's in the ball. Oh, Odegaard's hit the bar.
Oh, my word.
Oh, Saka into the back of Trent.
Oh, my word.
I'll have to see that again because it looked like, I don't know what part of him blocked the shot, but no, mind you, no Arsenal players appealed. How are we not 1-0 up there?
Oh. Vince says, is this the first time that Apollo wears a white shirt on the stream? Actually, yeah, it is, because it was still in its wrapper. It was still in its plastic. So it's been sitting there for about a year. I've had it for about a year. When did I get it? Last year, February. So yeah, it's nearly a year I've had it. And
Liverpool. Oh, Jesus Christ. For a minute there, I thought Ben White muffed up the clearance back to the pass back to Ramsdale.
I just saw when Odegaard hit the post there, we hit the bar.
Too much power.
Yeah. 10 minutes and 50 seconds I am.
Yeah, 11:35 now, me.
Yeah. Hey, Lewis, what's going on, bro?
Where are you? Who's the keeper?
Not much. I can't believe how we haven't scored in this opening 11 minutes.
I know.
Crazy.
How we doing, Lewis?
Crazy. Yeah, I'm all good. I'm all battered and bruised from my game yesterday.
Where'd you stand on the Nelson lob chance? You think he should have gone for the lob? What a tackle, Ben White. What a tackle, Ben White.
It's a great answer. I think I would have tried to do the same thing because the way Alisson set himself, he's quite a big keeper. So Alisson's expecting that lob. So I think Nelson did the right thing. It was just that touch around was a bit too heavy. And then there wasn't enough white shirts flooding the box for him to cut it back.
If you look at it again, before he shot, he had a chance just to roll it across to Saka. Saka was in the box unmarked, just outside the 6-yard area for a tap-in.
But that comes because Nelson don't play many games. He's not match sharp.
Yeah, no, I make you right.
Yeah,
this is the whole thing, like Apollo saying he's had 100 minutes in 19 games. That is nowhere near enough. That's a great challenge by, I don't know who it was.
I am seeing it was Ben White.
The challenge that stopped Nelson from scoring.
It might have been.
Was it Kanate? Kanate, I think it was.
Could have been, yeah.
Great tackle.
There's some full-blooded challenges to that. The referee giving a free kick for that, or is he giving a throw-in?
No, I think it's a throw-in.
Oh, it's a throw-in.
Yes.
Yeah, these they ain't pulling their punches. The sides today, which is.
But that's what you want, though. That's what you want. You want to see good, strong tackles flying in. That's a game of football, not how it's become where someone gets touched and they're rolling on the floor 50 times.
Oh, look at that.
Havertz has got to put some pace into that pass back there for Nelson.
He's the main man, isn't he, man? Shout out to you, Emerson. And Gary says, I think Ebony is at the game today. Last minute ticket offer came in by a friend. Yeah, I chose not to go today because I just need to rest. And I just need to take my time. I'm getting a lot better now. So
Jorginho's getting swamped. Jorginho is getting swamped.
It doesn't mean I've got to go all hell for leather. My wife, every time I step foot out the door, my wife looks at me and like, Apollo, you got to take your time, man. So I decided to miss this one out today.
Yeah, you're doing the right thing, man. Health is more important than sitting in a cold, freezing stadium.
Yeah,
true. I got offered a ticket yesterday.
I'll be back 2 seconds.
I had to turn it down. I was like, with Christmas and New Year's just happening, man, just money ain't free right about now. So.
And remember, Lewis, this is the first ticket that the season ticket holders deferred to in the new season ticket pricing. So that, we have the Champions League and Premier League games guaranteed in the season ticket, and we decided to chalk off the FA Cup. So that's the reason why we're still paying the same amount, which is $1,300 a year, $1,100 lower tier. But so the prices haven't gone up, but the games now we're playing the Champions League and the Premier League. Those games are more important.
Oh yeah, 100%. But then it all depends. If we can get through in the FA Cup, they might change it.
Yeah. But remember, Lewis, we get first dibs. Season ticket holders do get first dibs to FA Cup tickets. So
that's good.
Yeah. So when I turned mine down, it then went to ticket exchange.
Oh, okay then. Okay.
Whereas I would have been forced to go in to this game regardless, which I don't think is the right thing to do. So at the Arsenal Supporters Trust meeting, I definitely voted for the fact that this should go. Come
on, that pass got to be better, man. It didn't need to be punched in like that. Yeah, sorry to cut you off.
You got to give Nelson something to go on as well. Emerson, I wanted to let you know there's an under 21 game this Friday. Emerson talked to me about it. I'm actually going to be in Liverpool at a conference at work, so I'll probably be missing that game, Emerson. But definitely the next one in Boreham Wood, I will meet up with you and then we'll go to that game together. But for the rest of you guys who can get to Boreham Wood, it's a free game, the under 21s this Friday. So come and support the guys.
What time's kickoff?
I think it's 7:30.
I might try and go. I might take my son up there.
Yeah, it's free, man. It's a lot of people don't know those games are free, and it's a little frustrating because I know the owner Danny and I know his wife Mandy, who does all the admin, and they'd love to have the stadium packed up.
Is it me or do Liverpool look extremely leggy? Like they look very leggy. Like they're way off the pace. And we just need to keep this tempo high and we'll get some joy. Look how deep they are.
Yeah, and look at their lines. Their lines are all
they're actually, even though they're top of the league, they look like they're quite bothered by us in this game right about now.
Emerson says your lighting's a bit dark, but I can see a light above your head, so there is light.
Yeah, there is light there. I'm in one of them. Like I wasn't even gonna come on the stream today.
Yeah. No, it's a good thing to chill, man. It's a good thing to chill. That's what I said to Vincey. Sometimes if you're not feeling too well or anything like that, just come on and just chill with us. You know, you don't have to say too much. You can just chill out with us. Let us know how you feel. I'm terrible. Sometimes I'm good at that, but when the games are stressful and I know I've got to mind my lungs, man, I just can't help myself.
100, and that's why I was in a bit of two minds, because this game could be one of those games where it's going to be stressful. You know, you're playing you're playing your rivals in the first round of the cup. You know, and you don't want to be going out this early.
Yeah, this team's top of the league. They've apparently, and they've actually won. They've actually lost one game this season to Spurs, and that was controversial. Spurs never won that game.
Yeah,
So think about it, Lewis. That's the only game that they've lost. That's how good they've been.
I'm sure they've lost in Europe, haven't they? In the Europa League, I'm pretty sure they have.
I think so. Yeah.
But they're quietly doing their business, which is quite annoying.
Vince said,
good tackle.
I don't
Good
like
tackle.
falling asleep on the street. I hear you, bro. Mind you, I've never done that. I've never done that before, but there's been quite a few times that people have fallen asleep on the stream. Cam says, Lewis, he's talking to Lewis. He says the reason why teams don't open their lines against us is because of what you're seeing here. The challenge we have now is to be able to break that low block down with the minimal mistakes.
100. Like, I can't agree with that anymore, and that comes with us. We have to move the ball quicker. We got to go back to draw them out, and once we do bring them forward, we've got to start popping that ball in the middle and back out again. You know, find the man in space is what they say in the business.
Yeah, I mean, you look at this game so far, then you look at the Brighton game a few games ago, and then you saw it with PSV and Lens as well. If teams are going to come at us, they're going to give us a ton of space to get behind them. And it looks like in the first 10 minutes, Liverpool tried to come at this and we just kept getting behind.
Yeah, Liverpool. That's a great ball.
A little bit more deeper.
Good run, Reece Nelson. Good diagonal little run there from Reece Nelson there.
And you know what? You know that you mentioned that, Gary. In the last two games, we haven't done those runs. I've been
that's actually
for ages. Like the wide men and the forward men, man.
Saka, that's lazy, Saka. Yeah, but he's lazy. He should have been onside. He should never been offside from there. Ian Wright in the crowd. Top geezer, Ian Wright, isn't he? Top fella.
But a game like this, we do miss Party, man. Like someone that can just pass through the lines with such deadly accuracy.
And that's the reason why it's not working this season.
I know. I said this at the start of the season. Even though we're winning games, it's not the same without Party being the
Right, you need to give away a corner there, Ben.
The conductor. There we go. That's the word I was looking for.
I was having that conversation with this morning at my boys' game with yesterday morning at my boys' game with a few Arsenal fans, and I was saying the biggest reason for the drop off this season has been the transition, because there's been no Thomas Partey. And I plugged the stream, Apollo. I plugged the stream. I plugged the stream on Saturday to a load of Arsenal fans.
Nice, man.
Get a few more people in.
Excellent.
Corner Liverpool. Oh, and it was Darwin Núñez. Thank God it was Núñez. He gets that free header and headers it 6 mile wide.
You're way ahead of me. I think because I'm watching it. I'm watching it through the game console, so I'm
21.50. He had a free header there, 6 yards out, and he's put it miles wide.
The thing is, we can't keep giving him free shots at goal because he will take one.
We don't always say, Lewis. You want to make people earn a goal against you. You're not there to give any goals away.
Which is what used to be. Actually, we're leading the league in mistakes, leading to goals this season.
Oh, so Nelson has just done Trent on the outside. Nelson goes down in the box. The referee's happy, waves play on. They're just showing it again. He's pushed him over.
They're not giving us nothing, Gary.
Trent's pushed him over. It's not a penalty, but it's definitely ease out. I wouldn't say it was enough to get a penalty.
You just got to look at the Diego Jota penalty, and that tells you everything that you need to know.
I saw that, man. I don't even know what that was about.
Is that 18?
And they still gave it.
18 saying Apollo talk.
Havertz, come on. What is it with Arsenal always looking for this last pass?
Look at this. Look at this. Arsenal's had 7 attempts and Liverpool's had 1. So in regard to the tactics, we mentioned that Arsenal are looking more
back in 2 seconds, guys.
And you remember the last game against Fulham where we lost? What did I say to you guys? I said Ben White doesn't work in a double pivot. The substitution should have been to reinforce the midfield. So Jorginho should have come on in that game. And instead, we had Eddie go up top for 2 strikers with Jesus. And instead of one guy not getting service, 2 guys didn't get service. So you didn't fix the problem in the midfield. Today, Arsenal are much more solid because the midfield has been reinforced. You can see what Jorginho is doing playing next to Declan Rice. And we look a lot more solid.
Saliba, stop it, man. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. So that is too cold.
It's definitely working now because, we normally play in a single pivot, but a double pivot in this situation is looking far more solid for us, and that may be the answer to the problems that we have.
It could be. It very well may be. Like I thought to myself, why didn't Arteta change the system? But with Arteta, he's one of those managers. He tinkers when he doesn't need to tinker, and then when he's under a bit of pressure, then he'll do it. It's not like he reacts on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? It's like everything's like the other way around. He needs to be more on the front foot with it.
I mean, there is a stat that says that we've got 8 goals this season from our substitutes. The leading team, I believe, had 12, and I think that's Liverpool. So we are doing something right from a tactical standpoint because we've won 5 games in the 90th minute, and substitutions have scored 8 of those goals. But that's just the goals. There are systematic changes, which I think is what we're all talking about. Because, and I'm a strong believer in when he gets it right, praise him. When he gets it wrong, criticize him. Whereas I think we've got some people who lean more to one way or the other. But I think the last few games, Arteta has done us not much favours with the changes he's made, especially in the last game against Fulham where he got it completely wrong.
Oh, I was at the game. It was so horrible to watch and so flat. And I'm like, Arteta, what are you seeing that is making you happy about this? Like, Fulham conceded possession and played on the counter. That tells you everything you need to know. Like, we was too slow in and around the edge of the 18 in the last third. And I was screaming out in the stands, like Saka and Martinelli were isolated countless times. Give them the ball and let them. But they didn't. But neither of them were taking on the fullback. Like, they get it. Kind of look to cut inside and then play a pass. It's like, lads, if you're going to commit the defender properly and actually have a go and make Fulham have to turn to chase towards their own goal. Fulham actually had a high line like West Ham and Villa, and what Villa did, that high line, just drop a couple of balls over the top. If those teams know that we like to keep possession, right? So why don't we just change it up slightly and do something different? Oh, Kanate is down.
Yeah. So Saka just had a shot on goal there, guys. And to be honest, he miskicks it. You can see here, Saka brings up the ball. He plays the 1-2 with Kivior from Nelson. It's a weak hit from Saka, and it's easily saved. One thing I must say from Nelson, we're seeing Nelson's forward play in terms of his ball passing and his creativity. That seems to be a little bit improvement. A lot of people say that Martinelli struggles to create because he doesn't see the field very well. But Nelson certainly does, and Nelson is an assist guy. He'll get you assists.
Nelson's hungry. I've been saying it. Like, why sign the guy and not play him? Like, at least make him earn his money. If you say to this young man, you know what, I want to keep you around. Same with ESR. I want to keep you around. Give these boys minutes. Like, they know what it's like to be an Arsenal player and a fan, and the bad times. They want to be part of the change. They actively want to change what's going on at the club. You know, they want to be a part of it, and Arteta needs to embrace it and use that energy that they've got in that 11.
Well, I've been saying all season long that on that left-hand side, Jesus should be playing there. Should be Jesus. Oh, it's unlucky.
Come on, we need to make one of these chances pay, man.
We just
really
look so
do.
much better with Jorginho and Rice in there in the double pivot. We look so much more solid.
I know Jorginho's had his, doubters and stuff.
Go on! Oh, it just needed. Havertz got the ball. He turned into the defense and slipped it to Nelson. I thought Havertz really should have put his boot through it.
And this is why we need a marksman and Party. We need a proper marksman. Someone that just doesn't want to be involved in the first phase of play. They want to be in the second, the third, and the fourth phase, in and around the box. That's what we need.
Yeah, look at our midfield. Look how solid our midfield looks, man. G's got no coverage, so he's listening to our podcast. Cam says, Apollo's right. Our midfield with Jorginho and Havertz in looks so much more fluid and creative. It's frustrating. It's frustrating.
Just shoot, man. If it goes wide, like shoot first time. Look, the ball. Look, shoot that first time. Why are you taking a touch there, man? It was a nice lay from Odegaard as well. Just lash it one time.
Turn the table that way.
So Gary's on the bun and cheese, everybody. He's on the dumpling, ackee and sawfish.
I wish, mate. I wish. Need to find a wife first to cook that.
Yeah, I'm having rice and peas.
Oh, come on, Ref. How can you not see? Like, seriously, man. Will you? Liverpool been under pressure for 30 minutes and we still can't breach the goal, man. Like, and they can't afford a replay because their fixture list is piling up. Oh, come on, man. It's a blatant handball as well.
Yeah, guys, I'll be a couple of minutes. I'm just taking my medication.
That's easily cut out. Come on, boys, man. Oh, I love the way we're pressing at the minute. I love the way we're pressing. Played. Why would you run there, Havertz? Like, why? Oh,
Ben White just got done like a kipper. Absolutely done and dusted out there. Free kick Liverpool. Just in from the corner flag. Another dangerous position for Trent.
do you know why? Because he's tried to do the Cruyff. He's tried to go for the Cruyff turn when he should have just hooked it up the line and got a throw in instead. Well, at least it wasn't a nutmeg.
And Trent puts it over the bar.
Ah, that's all right then.
Ramsdale had it covered all the way. Never in trouble.
All right, that pass from Ramsdale to Nelson to set up that chance was absolutely delicious.
18 says, what the heck is Ben White doing? And he also says he likes this setup as well. It's just a double
But don't you think, Lewis, that Ramsdale's always had that in his locker?
No, he has. But if that was Raya, everybody will be glorifying it. And the fact that it's Ramsdale, like I've seen Ramsdale do that enough times in his career, picking out a player like that. It's a confidence thing when you're a goalkeeper. When you get dropped after being so long as number one, you always question yourself.
Yeah.
Always.
I don't even think it's the being dropped as number one. It's because he didn't really do anything wrong.
I know.
No more than we've seen Raya do so far this season.
I think Raya's done more.
Gary, come on. We've seen the stats. That's not true.
The stats are good, Apollo, but they don't paint the full picture of an actual game that you actually see.
Unfortunately,
yes,
they're definitely painting a picture as to why Ramsdale lost his job. His shot save percentage was one among the lowest.
But Reyes is among the lowest now.
Yeah, now, but last year Raya was the highest, and by a long way as well, by about 5%. But the telling factor is, balls into the final third. Raya had 138 or something like that, and Ramsdale only had 39. So Raya had like 3 times more shots into the final third. That helps your team when you're trying to score goals. Those are the things I'm looking at.
Yeah, but the team played different football.
I'm looking at it like
I know what you guys are saying in your opinion, but remember, when you're a football team, data analyst is very important to what your team does.
You can't be offside there, Havertz, man. Come on.
And you guys know all these statistics, all this footage is sent to the players via a memory card.
Well, Zaka, take him on. Take him on.
He's offside there.
Recycle well. Now go.
Havertz should allow that to run. Let Xhaka get onto that and then make a run into the box.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, G says Jorginho is so good on the ball. Should really be more playing time. Feels like I'm seeing some rotations and patterns of movement similar to the ones I saw last season. It's enough to warm the heart.
Same drop from Declan Rice, edge of the area, easy save for Addison.
That's well done by Saka. Time is run. Saka, you're in one-on-one here. Oh, he doesn't get the ball into the box, Saka. That's your job as a winger.
Saliba just gave it away in the penalty area. Lucky enough, it rebounded back nicely for him.
You see with Saliba, sometimes he's too composed for his own good.
He played Ramsdale. Ramsdale played Rice. Rice played Saliba back. And then it was the casualist pass trying to play out again. And lucky it bounced off, I think it was Nunez, straight back to Saliba. Oh! Ben White brings a save for Madison. Corner Arsenal.
Nice.
Come on. Oh, Saliba, man. Oh, Odegaard, that's a foul. Well done, Odie. Well done. I hope Martinelli's got a bee in his bonnet when he comes
from the
on.
corner, Havertz heads wide from 5 yards out, free header.
Ooh, 18 says, love Havertz, but in no way is he ahead of Eddie as a starter, as a striker, sorry. We need Eddie in situations like this. It's a good strike there from Ben White. Bertrand says, our wingers cannot beat anybody. Think again who you're talking about in regards to Reece Nelson. Nelson is a dribbling king, my friend. He can beat defenders all day long. It looks like they've done a redesign to the shirt this year, Gary. Havertz has got to hit the target there. Oh, no, it's not a redesign. Sorry, that's my fault. I'm wearing a V-neck, and it doesn't look like it's a V-neck on there, but when they did a close-up, it is. It's just they're wearing white T-shirts underneath it. Yeah, Havertz has got to hit the target there. Oh, God, that could have easily been a goal.
Heading is a dying art form in the modern game, man. It really is. You don't see many headed goals these days.
Yeah. Bertrand says Nelson hasn't beaten Trent once today. The night is still young, my friend. The night is still young.
It's not a head injury, Allison. Oh, Kwanzaa's gone down injured.
Yeah.
That's like
it doesn't look bad.
Is he feeling his hand?
Yeah, he's gone up holding his back.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Bertram, I sent you an invite on Messenger, Facebook. Yeah, it's not on WhatsApp.
Oh, nice. Jarred his ankle.
Well, yeah.
That hurts, man. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, those hurt, they do. Those hurt, they do.
So from the resulting starting play, Ben White throws the ball to Saka. Saka lobs it over the defender's head, Alexis McAllister, who takes him out on the edge of the area. But the referee gives nothing.
Gary,
I told you, they're not going to give us nothing in this game.
40 minutes, you're going to see it. So Saka flicks the ball. McAllister blatantly puts his shoulder right into Saka's chest. He doesn't hold his ground. He actually puts the shoulder into Saka's chest. It's a foul. Free kick or maybe even a penalty. I think it was just outside the area. But Arsenal get another throw.
That's obstruction.
Yeah,
that's actually obstruction. That's the same thing as what.
And that's a foul on Odegaard. But you saw him actually step across and put the shoulder into the chest.
Yeah.
Oh, this is why I wish someone like Partey was on the pitch, man, to take that little ferret out. That's obstruction. How can you not see that's obstruction? He's not even turned towards the ball. That's what makes it even worse.
Man called him a ferret, you know.
He is a ferret, man.
Man said ferret. Hey.
That's not what I call Bernardo Silva, the rat boy. I can't stand Bernardo Silva, the little rat.
Shout out to everybody on the stream. Don't forget to hit that like button, everybody. It really helps.
Here's a question for everyone on the stream. Is it better to be a rat or a ferret?
That's one for you, Emerson. Oh, God.
Oh, Saka waste a free kick and it's out for a goal kick.
Guys, you're talking about the performance as a whole. I think it's been a lot better than Fulham. I don't think you can get any worse. Not any real. Well, I'm not. I can't say real clear cut because Odegaard hit the crossbar, so there has been chances. Havertz with the header as well. We could easily be looking at 2 or 3-0 today. But Liverpool,
There's been a reaction, which is good. There's been a reaction. Sorry to cut you off. There's been a reaction from last week. They definitely worked on the shape and what they're gonna do in this game.
Yeah.
They better carry out the game plan. That's all I'm saying.
When you're looking at Liverpool,
Ramsdale sweeps up well. Ramsdale sweeps up well. Ball over the top. Nunes chasing after it. He's in on goal. Ramsdale's out. Cleared it for a throw to Liverpool.
Yeah, as I was saying, when you look at Liverpool, a team of their caliber created nothing against us. And if it wasn't for Salah beating Zinchenko on that easy one-on-one, they wouldn't have had anything. And today, they've had one chance.
Oh! Hit it, Hammer! Hit it! Hit the ball! Oh! The press is on. Arsenal nick it. Odegaard plays a bad ball to Havertz. If the ball's in front of him, he's clean through. It's a little bit behind him. He takes the touch, goes out wide, and even then, when he takes the shot, it's a nothing shot. It's like a back pass. You're going to see it now.
Oh boy!
It's a great press though from us. Really, I like the setup and the activation of it.
G's talking to Gary. Says Gary, Havertz is such a turkey, shaking his head. Guy is a hot mess, decent as an 8.
Bang! Oh wow!
Oh, that's not a foul.
Yeah. It looks like
I've seen it all now. I've seen it all.
That looked like a back pass from Havertz rather than the shot, didn't it?
Oh my days, man!
Oh, and Trent's hit the bar. Trent has hit the bar.
Oh my god!
I don't know if Ramsdale got a hand to that. We're about to see. I think Ramsdale, the way Trent's laughing, it's like Ramsdale's got a hand to that. Ooh, could have been the slightest of touches. But the shot from Trent.
He just takes. No, the power got me.
I thought there was offside in the build-up play, Gary.
Back in 2 seconds.
All right, okay, I think it's coming up for us now, Lewis. They allow him to run.
He's definitely got a touch to that Ramsdale. Not otherwise that goes in. There's a slight slick, I reckon. There's definitely a slight nick here. That's a great save. Yeah, he's like the tiniest of nicks.
Otherwise, it goes in under the crossbar. Yeah. Yeah, it's a save.
Because you can tell from Trent's reaction as well. He's like looking at Ramsdale, going, "You definitely got a touch to that."
Yeah, yeah.
We just lack conviction. That's the only thing that's missing from this first half performance is conviction when shooting. Other than that, we controlled the game very well.
Let me have a look at the goals again because this is really telling. This is. So the top scorers are Man City with 45. Liverpool and Aston Villa have got 43. Then Spurs with 42. Then Brighton with 38. Newcastle, 39. Then we've got 37. Yeah. So the goals are definitely an issue. There's no doubt about it.
But we've been winning our games by like the odd goal as well. And we've had a few clean sheets. But it's nowhere near enough. Like we're creating so many chances to score and just not converting.
Yeah, yeah.
And it'll always bite you in the arse, as they say, if you don't.
So yeah, so we're averaging 1.85 goals per game. So that's way down on our 2.4 last season.
What's our XG this season so far?
I got to look that one up actually. I should know that off by heart.
And that's half time, guys. 0-0.
Yeah.
I'm gonna charge up my phone, but I'll still be in the chat.
Okay, right. Half time, guys. Let me change the banner and then we can have a little conversation. Here we go. Half time. Let's change this and then we'll try and get an answer to Lewis's question about the XG. I hope you guys are doing well. Really do hope you're doing well. Happy New Year to all of you lot as well. So let's have a look at it. Yeah, it's funny. It's 1.81 RXG. Okay. Let's just have a look and see what this is. Yeah, Lewis, it's 1.81 compared to last season's 2.3 XG.
Oh man, we are way down.
Yeah,
that's a big drop, isn't it?
That's a massive drop. Arteta needs to stop all these control. Just let the bloody brakes off. Let these boys play a higher tempo and what they were doing last season for a bit, and then you go for possession.
But the thing is, I don't understand why you put the focus on possession when really our play last season there was nothing wrong with it. It was just unfortunately we had the injuries and we couldn't cope with them towards the end of the season, or we would have won the league. So surely you just say, well, we carry on the same. We've added Declan Rice. Yeah. You know, we're gonna be strong defensively anyway, because nothing's changed really in that aspect. So we just carry on as we are.
So I'm gonna blow this up quite a lot because I don't think you'll be able to see it. So I'm just gonna massively blow this up here. So sorry about the quality in advance. Let's have a look. Let's check this. So here we go. So this is what we've got here. So it's the third best in the league. But it just goes to show you how good we were last year, doesn't it?
What was it last year, did you say?
2.3 XG was last year.
So if you look at last year, we're way above Liverpool and City.
Oh yeah, miles above them. Miles above.
Yeah, I don't understand why you put the focus on so much on controlling the game. We had that pretty much last year anyway. But it's almost like he said, well, this year we're gonna control it more just because we have to, and we're gonna forget about playing football.
Yeah.
Makes no sense to me.
I prefer the gun ho approach where you try and get that lead, you try and go 2-3-0 up, then you start slowing the game down. We like Fulham, we went 1 up and tried to slow the game down after 10 minutes, and I was just like, what sense does that make? Like we're on the front foot, we was playing well, and then all of a sudden we slowed everything down. I'm just like, you need to win this game. You didn't. The same thing happened against West Ham on the Thursday night. Like we created block shots after block shots. Like we have to play at a higher tempo. For me,
it is really lazy around the box, and without. I mean, one can say, is Havertz a true number 9? Probably not. But we've wanted to see him play there because he holds up the ball so well. But holding up the ball so well and being a clinical finisher is two different things. And he had a nice headed chance today, which I thought he should have done well. Good. Yeah, got that on target.
I was just literally, as you're talking, he just showed it again.
Yeah,
he gets up well, but it's a weak header. He could have had a hat trick. Easily had a hat trick.
Yep.
He's muffed 2 or 3 efforts.
So what have we got here? Arsenal's XG, guys, 1.3. Liverpool's 0.1. Total, it's been total domination. Arsenal 13 shots, 5 on target. Liverpool just 2 shots, none on target. Arsenal 2 big chance, which is why I said should have been 2-0. The Havertz header and Odegaard hits the crossbar. 86, the passing's the same. Liverpool's 5 fouls, but the fouls are the same. And the corners, we've had 1 and they've had 2. Gary, what's your overall assessment on the first half, mate?
Yeah, to be honest, total domination. We haven't put the ball in the net, and then we almost go in 1-0 down when Trent strikes the crossbar. That's typical Arsenal, isn't it? We have all the play, all the chances. The other team go down the other end, bump first attack, and it's normally in the back of the net. But there's nothing to fear here from this Liverpool side. I think Jorginho's he's used the ball well, but he's also been a little bit slow. He's got caught a couple of times. So maybe you could revert Havertz to the 8, move Rice back to the 6, and bring on Eddie, because I think Eddie takes a couple of them chances.
Yeah, I do think that if I'm Arteta, I'm making a halftime substitution and getting Eddie on, because you've had a good 45 minutes look at Havertz, and it's not to blame Havertz. He has had a chance. He's had the header, but
it's not only the header, Apollo. He's had the header, 2 strikes that he's basically muffed. Yeah. One was the back pass, and one where he should have shot first time, and then he's done. I don't know what he'd done, but he ended up like he was in a bunker at a golf course, just a little pitching where to shot out. Just popped up in the air from his foot, and then he's had the one that he forced Alisson to save. So he's had 4 efforts.
You've also got to think about the fact that Eddie has had 17 goals in his last 22 Arsenal games here at the Emirates. At the Emirates, his scoring record here is impeccable. I know we'll take it on the chin, and we accept the criticism that he's away scoring form is not that great, and he doesn't impact the game well coming off the bench. So for me, you've got to get him. This is the reason why I'm saying get him on now at half time, because then he'll have enough time to get himself into the game. Eddie strikes me as that type of person that follows the flow of the game. And so if you give him 5 or 10 minutes towards the end, you're not going to get anything out of him. That's definitely something that we've seen with him of late.
Yeah, I think if you give Eddie them 4 chances that Havertz has had, he's scoring at least 1 goal.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Lewis, are you there, mate?
Yeah, I'm still here. I was just, listening and taking all the information in.
Yeah, I was going to say, Lewis, you can be dominant and have all the game, but it just takes 1 chance and then you can be behind. And we saw that when Trent Alexander hit the crossbar. But for Arsenal, they have been the better side, but they've been fluffing their lines in front of goal. And I think it's a chance for Arteta to get his message across to his players that he's going to keep trying something up front until it works. And this is the first game Havertz has started, not played, because he's played a few games there in relief of Jesus and Eddie. But it's his first game he started as a number 9. What does he do in the second half, Lewis?
He needs to start telling these boys, hit this ball with a bit of conviction. Like if it opens up, take the shot. We don't need to always go for that extra pass. They should know when to go for that extra pass. I mean, Havertz, I don't know what's going on with him mentally, but he picks up and he gets into some really, really good spaces. He's just lacking that confidence in front of goal, which is strange for a player of his caliber. When you look back to his days when he was in Germany, he was scoring those chances for fun. Then all of a sudden he comes over here to England and it's just not quite worked.
What a goal that is!
It's just our final third play is what's letting us down from a very, very good performance.
Yeah, I mean, for me,
let your socks off.
For me as well, guys, I also want to say well done to Arsenal for bringing back the no red tops. They look absolutely stunning. No, they're not on general sale. They're only for charities cause, which I don't agree with. Personally, I was given mine from one of my sources inside Arsenal. So they're not very easy to get. But I will say this, guys. If they are for a charity, and it's the same thing I said to Colin Gordon, one of the agents I know very well, if it's for charities, let the fans buy them and then let that money facilitate to the charity.
Exactly. It makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, I just don't get the whole smoke and mirror stuff behind why the fans can't wear them. I don't understand it. I really don't. It makes no sense.
Especially with our fan base, like we release a shirt that's half decent, it sells. Like you try to buy one online, you can't get one online. Like it sells out within the day. So something like this top would have done the charity and the community around, the Emirates, the world of good. Like they really need to seriously consider that for next season if they're going to bring it in.
Yeah, and this was all down to the decisions of not Adidas, but Idris Elba and Ian Wright. So I'm not really sure. Knowing Ian Wright as I do, I think I'm surprised and shocked that he would not want to give this something the fans wanted. Although his jersey did, the one that's just released, the grey one with the city on it and everything. He's just obviously that's his gift to the fans. Cam, let's go back to Bertrand. Bertrand says we need offensive players. Tired of the excuses for Havertz is getting old. And Cam says Bertrand really not sure because of the performance has been very good, but we are losing this, in my opinion. Yeah, it's too early for that as well, Cam. I think we've dominated the game. We've definitely, I think for me, the free-flowing, fast level of football, the type of football, the style of football that I saw was good from Arsenal. It's just what's going on in the final third. And I think if you start with Eddie, knowing Eddie's home record as well, knowing the guy gets you so many goals at home, I just think it's insane why you haven't put him in the starting role. I don't understand it, but I'm looking up for him to come forward and come on early in the second half, if not at half time, and for them to change it up. I like what I've seen from Reece Nelson in spots on the left, but I am expecting more from him in the second half. Really, really shame he didn't convert that first chance in the first couple of minutes where Aaron Ramsdale just hit an absolute beauty of a ball. You don't see him do that every day, but it just goes to show, Gary, he's got it in his locker. Why don't we see it more often?
Yeah, I mean, I've always, like I asked Lewis the question, and Lewis basically agreed with me. He's always had it in his locker. It just comes down to the way the team wants to play. If the manager wants you to play out from the back, you're going to play out from the back. But probably when you look at the pitch as a whole, if you're in the stadium, like when you're in your stadium, Apollo, you will see that ball is probably on 8 times out of 10. But if the manager's saying to you, I don't want you to play that ball, what are you going to do? You're going to go against the manager, or you're going to do what the manager wants? Yeah. Personally, I think the more you mix it up, the better it is, because you become too predictable. You know that you're going to play out, the press is going to come, you're going to try and play around the press, then you're going to play through the press after you've played round it, because the second press is going to come. Then you know that you're going to go out left, you're going to go out right. Where's the unpredictability in what we're doing? Because it's become all too predictable. That's why we're running into brick walls lately. Because nothing changes. There's no plan B. There's no I'm going to knock it long for Havertz to get a flick on and get someone running off of him. You know, the keeper's not going to bang it 60, 70 yards like we saw Ramsdale do once in a blue moon. Mix it up. If we don't know what's coming, how do the opposition know what's coming?
Yeah, true.
And that's what made us so successful last season, because we actually mixed it up a lot more than what we are now.
Yeah,
I think you need to.
I don't know. I think Arteta's trying. You know, sometimes it's good to have all this intelligence and footballing knowledge, but sometimes you don't always need to put everything into the game and into the tactics and overload.
Lewis, that's exactly what I said the other day, man. He's trying to be a bit too clever when there's no need to be too clever.
Yeah, those are traits. Those are traits, though, of some of the greatest managers we've seen, like Klopp, Pep.
Yeah, but the difference with them guys, Apollo, they know what works, so they'll stick with it if it's working. If it's not working, they're going to say, "Hold on, you come here, we're going to do this." And they're going to change it up in game. But Arteta does not have that quality, and if he does, he doesn't show it.
But Gary, to be fair, they've had over 15 years to hone that kind of semblance. Whereas if you look at Arteta, I still think there's things that Arteta is still trying to figure out. I'm probably the only fan that would say that to you, because most fans think that every manager is tailor-made to what they are today. But managers evolve just like players do, just like everybody else does. And the way I see Arteta still evolving as a manager. He's doing things differently this season, which we didn't see him do last season. So that
no changes for Arsenal.
So that just
I didn't expect Arteta to change it. Like, when you actually look at it, it was a very, very good, solid performance. Just missing the goal, that's it. So at half time, you just say to your lad, look, you've had a whole host of chances. Just shoot on sight. You never know. Alisson might spill one, or you might get deflected. You know what I'm saying?
Is Eddie on then? Is Eddie on?
No, same.
Right. Bertram's saying Eddie for Havertz starting the second half.
No. I don't know. He must be watching a rerun.
Havertz is there in the tunnel coming out.
There's no changes.
Well, that's what I would do. I would definitely put Eddie on. Maybe he's just maybe Bertram's making the prediction like myself of what he would do. I would put Eddie on. I just think you need a fox in the box. It's baffling. Oh, it's my suggestion. Yeah, it's the same as myself. Yeah. When you're struggling for goals, the last thing you want to do is not have your fox in the box in the game. And I know they played him in the last game, but he was starved of service and nobody was good in that game.
Over the top, man. Havertz, what a throw that is, Curio. It's all too predictable, Arsenal. All too predictable.
Yeah.
Good control, Reece. He has it nicked. Got to shield it better than that. But Curio throws the ball to Havertz on the byline, right? Now Havertz, he can turn and go towards goal, but for some reason he just kind of does nothing and comes back towards the corner flag. That kind of made no sense to me.
Cam says, our finishing is comically bad. I know they do shooting drills in training, but what causes the complete lack of composure when we do this, when we do the hard part so well? Yeah. Welcome to the land of football. Here's Reece Nelson as well. And he's disposed of the ball. He says, where was Nelson after the first 10 minutes and where's Saka? These guys need to finish when we're playing without a natural striker.
Dangerous Arsenal.
Shout out to everybody in Arsenal, man. And as I said, Happy New Year to everybody. I really hope you guys had a good Christmas and a good...
Oh my God! Ramsdale's cleared the ball long. Havertz he's running after it. Konate grabs him round the waist, pulls him to the floor, and the referee just goes, play on.
This is the bias that against Arsenal, which referees are getting away with every week. So
Havertz had 5 attempts in the first half. Reece Nelson had 3, someone else had 3, and someone else had 3.
Wow, 5 attempts for Havertz.
In the first half, that was.
And Eddie was starved of service last week.
How is that? Please.
Did you just see that, Lewis?
I just saw it.
You see I did this yesterday. I spoke to the referee. I said to the ref, you know what? I'm one of those cheeky ones, but I'll ask for everything, yeah? So there was a foul that he didn't give yesterday. So I'll go to him, ref, like, why didn't you give it? He goes, I didn't think it was. I'm like, are you sure? He's like, if it had gone in, then I might have changed my mind. Like, so you should have given it in the first place. If an attacker does that, that's another foul. You can't put your hands around players like that and hold. What the hell? What, we playing rugby out here today?
Yeah, I don't know, man. This is crazy.
Because at first it looked like a tangle, but when you see it from behind,
No, because Kanate got caught on the wrong side
Yeah,
and
I
he
know, but
panicked.
at first, it looked like a tangle. When you see it like properly on screen, it looked like a tangle. But when they show it, Kanate's caught on the wrong side. He's not even looking at the ball. And then when he realises it's going the other way, he just grabs Havertz and drags him to the floor. What a ball! Go on, Saka! Go on, Saka, square it! Square! Oh, you gotta square the ball.
Oh, man,
So another long ball puts Saka clean through. He's ahead of Joe Gomez. He gets there. I think it's Havertz herring through the middle after him. If he can put it across, it's a tap-in. He cuts back. Gomez has a little pull, then he scuffs the shot into Gomez. And it's easy for Alisson to pick up.
we don't pass very well when we're near the box. We don't set our players up very well. We don't.
And the thing is, that was on Saka's right foot. He could have. Well, I don't know why you're trying to cut back in there. Just drive it across goal. And Joe Gomez, high and handsome.
Yeah, you've got.
If Havertz is there, it's a simple tapping.
If Saka gets it under, controls better.
In the team, you only have to look at the lack of assists in the team as a whole to see that we don't pass very well.
Now, do you know what, Gary? If the bounce it wasn't so high, I think Saka squares that for an easy one.
I think once he's got it under control, for a player of his quality, that's not a hard pass to make with either foot for him.
Hey guys, look at that comment. I can't even read it out.
High perverts. Do you know what? I really want the guy. Like when we was linked to him, I was like, "Oh, Ted, what are you smoking? Like, what have you seen?"
I want him to do well.
I want him to do well, but
you got to win that ball, man.
I'm just looking at it like, hey,
support. Use it now. Well done.
Yeah, I agree with you.
White. That's tragic, mate. Jorginho, rather. Oh, and then come Liverpool with Luis Diaz. Oh, what a tackle for that Gabriel, I believe. Oh, and well done. Declan Rice gets back to mop up edge of the box.
You see what I'm saying? You can have all the possession, all the XG, all the shots on target. If you don't take your chances, you will get burned. We have to wake up.
I think we move Rice back to the 6. Move Havertz back to the 8 and get Eddie on. I mean, that's great defended by Gabriel there. Because I think that might have been a certain goal for Liverpool. But then as he comes back across, Rice just appears from nowhere just to nick it off his toe. Just as he's about to shoot.
I'm just watching it now because Rice was way behind this. Wow. No, he's read that so well, Rice. He's read that situation so well.
Who's that? Kyrgios's been caught out again by a ball, and it's Luis Diaz. Darwin Núñez. He turns out. And then appealing for a penalty there. And Curtis Jones blasts it over, but Darwin Núñez turned, and he turned back around, and also he was in acres of space. And Saka's come back. I can't see if there was any contact, but it rolls to Curtis Jones on the edge of the box after the Saka and Núñez come together. No, didn't touch him. I don't even know why Darwin Núñez was hit the floor there. I have no idea. Well played, Aaron Ramsdale. Not there, Odegaard. Oh, good feet. Should have gone down, Odegaard.
Núñez is fell in stages. He's like, no, should I go down here? But Kiwior done well not to allow Diaz to run without no pressure in the end.
Darwin Núñez has just turned inside Ben White and fired right over the bar. That was close. But Ben White, he doesn't want Núñez to come in on his right foot. So he's showing him so much of the line. But Núñez does him on the inside anyway.
This is scrappy. It's a little bit more of an even game in the second half now, guys. Liverpool really just targeting to score one goal, thinking that might.
They've inverted.
That's a foul.
Trent.
Yeah,
that's a foul. That's a foul. Well done, Reece Nelson. Reece Nelson, good driving run to the byline, and Luis Diaz comes in from behind him and eases him off the ball. But I thought that was a foul. He hasn't played the ball. He just played the man. Free kick, Arsenal.
Yeah, what was that, Lewis?
Sorry.
No, that shot from Núñez looked a lot wider than.
Yeah, it was close, man.
Let's have a look from this angle.
Come on, Reece.
Yeah.
A little bit too high. Come on, Reece. Decent ball in Reece.
Yeah, that's a foul.
You've got 5, 6 foot pluses there, Reece, to hit.
Yeah, he's given a foul. Well done, Reece.
He's barged him in the back. It's not shoulder to shoulder, that one. He's pushed with his arm. If Diaz doesn't raise his arm at the end, it's a fair barge. But come on, boys, man.
Well done,
put one in the
Odegaard. This guy, Odegaard. Oh, here come Liverpool now. Darwin Núñez. What a tackle, Saliba. What a tackle that is. Not only does he make the tackle, he's on the floor and he plays the ball directly out to Martin Odegaard's feet from the floor.
His awareness is just unreal, that young man.
But Odegaard loses it, and now Liverpool are back in the ascendancy. I thought Odegaard was fouled, to be honest. It looks like he was tugged back, but the referee was having none of it.
Yeah.
But this is what Liverpool do. They always put pressure on Odegaard, like every time, because they know you allow him to play.
That's Klopp's tactic. Klopp believes that if you stop Odegaard, you stop Arsenal.
Alexis McAllister, ref, that is a yellow card, ref.
Yeah, it is.
That is a blatant yellow card.
The referee didn't do anything. Odegaard was getting held and the referee...
not that one, Apollo. McAllister has just taken out Jorginho. Taking him out. It should be a yellow card.
No?
Every week we see the same crap from referees, man.
Yeah, Odegaard was definitely tugged back.
Right in front of the referee, mate. It was right in front of him.
Well, we already know the rest wearing a purple shirt today, so it doesn't surprise me. It really don't surprise me at all. It's a late challenge. Come on,
that's a ball. Go on, Clements. Square it. Oh! So the Arsenal worked the free kick fantastically well. The players are all offside. They all run back onside. Odegaard slips the free kick down the side to Havertz. He takes an eternity to cross it. It's just over Gabriel's head. And then Saka volleys just wide.
Oh, my God.
Brilliant routine.
I think, you know what, guys? This is one game where the captain's got to grab the game by the scruff of the neck. He's done it many times before.
Why didn't Gabriel just dive and header that, man?
Yeah.
Why didn't he just dive and header that? Stoop forward and head it.
That's worked so well there. Oh, that should have been a goal, Gary.
Well, brilliant work, free kick. We don't do enough of that either.
Yeah, I agree.
It's kind of always the same routine. We're going to cross the ball.
Yeah.
You know, we've got the big guys in there, but that was brilliantly well worked.
Quality from Havertz there. Look at Havertz, the way he sells it.
He's onside as well, yeah.
He's onside, yeah.
So Liverpool bring on Gravenbach.
Oh,
They're looking
And
to
Diego
get.
Jota.
Oh God!
Actually,
You know
Gabriel
what's
was
gonna
planning
happen,
on
innit?
that. Gabriel
Yeah, I
could
don't know
have
why.
got in on that.
I don't know why Gabriel didn't just stoop forward with his head. It
Yeah,
wasn't
I
that
know,
far away from him.
Saka's got to get that on top. See, this is what I'm saying. Like, I looked last week at the chances messed up. This is why Salah is the best winger in the world. And because Salah's burying those. Salah's burying those chances. He's putting them in the back of the net. He's burying that. Saka's not there yet, guys. He's close. He's close. But Saka's not there yet.
Look, they took off McAllister. No surprises. Klopp knows, man. Klopp knows. He was one more challenge away from a yellow, McAllister. He should have got it for the challenge on Jorginho. Could have got
Yeah,
one
100%.
for on Saka as well.
Shout out to Lee Rollins in the house. He said, "Evening, lads. Happy New Year to you and you too as well, mate. At work, loving the banter as always. No problem, bro. I appreciate your support and Happy New Year to you as well, mate. Happy New Year to you as well." So McAllister off, really, and that gives Arsenal even more clout because he was kind of holding their midfield together against Arsenal's double pivot of Jorginho and Rice, which, by the way, guys, has worked better today than it has in the last few games. We've seen the weakness in the midfield, and I've asked for Jorginho in the double pivot, as you guys know on the stream, and that's exactly what Arteta's done today. So he's definitely seen what we've seen. And this is what I was saying in the chat today, guys. There's a difference between a striker being clinical and the midfield being creative. And I think in the last few games, we've not even had the chance to get
and Arsenal close again, man. Saka. Oh my God, what is this guy doing? The Arsenal work it well down the left. Reece Nelson cuts in, plays in Havertz. Havertz to the byline. He crosses to the back post to Saka. And he just shanks it out of play for where he's standing. He's not even on target.
Ooh.
Oh,
cut it
there.
Cut it back.
It nearly gets
Cut it back.
But did you see Reece Nelson
got
there?
to cut it back, man. Look at Odegaard running to the box, man. Cut it back. You ain't scoring from there.
Guys, quality.
Come on, man.
And Havertz there.
Oh, that's a foul ref again. He's pulled him back.
Oh, look at that.
All you have to do is cut this back. What are you going for goal for?
A ball!
Come on.
That's a ball, is it not? And he's not even...
That's not even a goal scoring angle. What are you doing?
And it's a goal kick to Liverpool. But the flick...
That is unbelievable.
I thought that was a corner, to be honest. I don't think the whole ball was out. When it's us, the whole ball's out. Funny that, isn't it?
I do want to point something out, guys.
So Martinelli on for Reece Nelson. Martinelli on for Reece Nelson.
You see the work.
I don't think we should be making that change just yet.
Yeah, I agree.
In my opinion,
I would take it Saka off, to be honest.
I was just about to say that. With all
it's
the
almost like he's scared to substitute Saka.
That's handball.
You know?
That's handball.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's handball.
That's exactly what I thought. Wasn't even looked at. Wasn't even looked at.
They're not going to. It's handball. It is. Look.
No, here's the replay.
Yeah, that's a corner.
We're getting nothing, guys. We're getting
Havertz, put your head in there. You're through. You're going to get kicked in the head, but the player's going to get sent off. So Jorginho hooks the ball over the top. Havertz goes after it. And as the ball bounces up, he's just got to put his head on it. He's going to get taken out, but the Liverpool player's going to get sent off.
So is that a red card for Liverpool?
No, he didn't. He didn't put his head in. That's what I'm saying. As it bounced up, he's just got to put his head and nod it forward. He's going to get done by the Liverpool player. He might get kicked in the face, but the player's going to get sent off for dangerous play. Because Havertz would have been clean for a goal. That's where you need a bit of bravery there.
I think Reece should have deserved at least 75, 80 minutes.
Here comes Liverpool down the other end. The game's opened up now. And it's Harvey Elliott. Tame shot, easy for Ramsdale.
Yeah, I agree with Bertrand. We're taking off Nelson when Saka's been not good.
Yeah,
Today.
100%.
The worst player, he's been awful today. He has been awful. Like,
Yeah.
he's shooting from angles. He's not cutting the ball
Saka's
back.
had 3 clear-cut chances. So you can't get you.
And missing, yeah.
Oh, you can't
I
ask.
think he deserved the full 90 today, or at least to play longer. I think he's very unlucky to be hooked there.
Yeah.
Especially when
100%.
Saka's having a stinker.
Oh man.
Oh, Saliba, you've got to punch the ball in a bit better there into Odegaard, so you can at least trap it and like take the foul there. Come on, roll it out.
Wow.
Havertz, if you jump there, you might actually win the flick.
Go on the press, Martin. Come on, Martin. It's too easy. Press the keeper. You're giving him all the time in the world to pick that pass out.
Why don't we put those two on? Why don't we have a bit of ESR out there and some a bit of Eddie?
This will be a good game for Smith Rowe.
I know. Last couple of games have been good to be bringing them on.
Yeah, just he's running.
Look at this. So Saliba has tugged back a Liverpool player, straight yellow card. Straight yellow card. Free kick, straight yellow card.
Yeah, it's the refs, mate. The refs.
Now, it was a foul, granted, but no worse than we've seen 2 on Arsenal players that weren't even giving us free kicks.
Exactly. And the thing is, Gary, referee doesn't even hesitate.
Didn't hesitate to get the yellow card out, Apollo. It was out before he even got the whistle out of his mouth.
Yep. Cam says, team trying to set a record for missed chances today in a 4-week period. And he says, Saka, please recolor your hair. Saka is just missing chance after chance since he turned blonde.
Saka's got caught again trying to dribble out from defence. And now Liverpool have the ball back.
Unbelievable.
So Liverpool are growing more into this game as it goes on.
Yeah, I think it's been an even second half.
They're fencing blood right about now.
Oh, Martinelli. Shift Martinelli. Terrible touch, man. First touch was shocking. Run at him. Now cut in. Cut in. You can't use your left foot. Oh, what a cross that is. Can't use your left foot. What a cross. So Saka has fouled Gomez. Referee waves play on. Into the box. Jorginho to Saka. Oh, Saka, what are you trying to do? You're not trying to do one thing or the other.
He's having a stinker, man.
So he played Saka. Saka, he's like, he didn't really... Yeah, Ben White on the overlap for a little reverse pass, or he could have shot... And he kind of just nudged the ball through and didn't even have a chance of getting it. It made no sense, what he just did. Made no sense, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to put these star players on the bench, to let them know you're not undroppable.
You know, it always takes a brave manager to say, look, you ain't playing well. I'm gonna leave you out. But obviously, Arteta maybe not that guy. Just leave it.
No, he just doesn't do it to certain players.
Yeah,
great crossfield pass. Now come on, Martinelli.
Actually, do not to get a longer spell in this game. Like what did he do wrong?
Oh my God! So Martinelli roasts Trent. He gets to the byline, and he turns on his right foot, and the cross is shocking.
I told you, Martinelli can't pass.
Yeah, but the cross was shocking with his strong foot.
Yeah, he can't pass.
Arsenal come again.
Look,
He's done Trent again. Finish. Oh, Martinelli. He does Trent with a little nutmeg. He gets to the byline and he can't pick out a pass.
Yeah,
he can't hit a shot and he can't pick out a pass. But twice now in the last minute, he's roasted Trent.
Which is
a lovely switch. It's a lovely switch.
We need Martinelli to get his confidence back, guys. He just beat a player there. He just beat Trent.
But
There you
apparently
go.
our
There
wingers,
you go,
apparently our
Bertrand.
wingers don't.
Oh, and it's a terrible corner for Martinelli. It
He
doesn't
went
even,
straight
the
past
corner
him.
doesn't even reach the front post.
Right. Yeah, he's just roasted him twice. He's just gone past him twice there.
But he's got to pick out someone there, hasn't he?
Right.
It's not an hard ball.
Guys,
You
blame
don't
Gary.
pick one.
Blame Gary.
Wait.
I'm bursting out the cherry bakewells there.
Why blame me? Let's see me eating no cake.
Oh man.
Just pick an area and put the ball in the area and allow the players to do their. Oh Lord!
The worst thing about this is this has got draw all over it going back to Anfield, which is what
Oh,
nobody.
here come Liverpool. Liverpool 2-1. Oh, he squared it. Oh, good. It was behind Diaz. If it's in front of him, it's 1-0 Liverpool.
Yeah.
God, this game is just.
Oh, get up, man. That should be a book, ref. That's a yellow card for diving. That's a yellow card for diving.
They don't give out. They don't give out yellow cards for stimulation no more.
Yeah. I've noticed that. Which is silly because you do that and that roots it out. If you root it out, then people will stop diving. But no, that doesn't seem to be.
Apollo, it's your fault. It's your fault. I'm on the Cadbury Cream Eggs now.
Oh man.
Other chocolates are available, people. So Harvey Elliott got a yellow card.
Yeah, Diaz puts that behind him. That was awful from Diaz. I said we can't pass, and Liverpool just said, "Well,
It's a good job that was Darwin Núñez. That was Sano. He puts it on the plate.
Or Jota. He only got it for descent. It wasn't for the actual tackle. This ref's a joke. This ref is an actual joke. And I really, really hate blaming referees, but he's just been really bad towards Arsenal. It's just ridiculous.
Oh, what a tackle, Odegaard. Come on, Saka.
Send me into work happy tomorrow, Arsenal. I want to celebrate a win. Come on, man. I want people coming up to me going, oh,
So Odegaard plays in Saka. Saka plays in Odegaard. And without taking a touch on the ball, he tries to turn and the Liverpool player just walks past him and nicks the ball. What the hell was that?
So there's John Barnes. Big respect to John Barnes there. Well played by Odegaard. And that's a great ball by Odegaard. So, I mean, it's going to be a captain that's going to save the day.
Yeah, but look at the next bit, Apollo. When Saka plays him back, he turns, and the Liverpool player just walks past him and gets the ball.
Yeah, that's.
I don't understand. I don't understand why Saka's
Martinelli, honestly, that is shocking. So Martinelli, he comes inside Trent, he rolls the ball across the area. There's not even an Arsenal player in sight.
Yeah, but that's Martinelli. I told you he can't pass, man. He can't pass.
I need to see it.
You're going to see it now.
Bertram says Smith Rowe and Nketiah can't be any worse than Havertz and Saka. 100%.
Facts. I agree. You chuck them on.
Time's running out. You're 72 minutes now. You're 72 minutes. Yeah, 72 minutes. Then Eddie doesn't do well coming off the bench. You needed to give him a lot of time. Why are they still doing FA Cup replays, man?
They're not meant to. I thought they wasn't gonna bother.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was meant to go straight to penalties.
Penalties, yeah, exactly.
Terrible ball by Ben White.
Come on now, Saka needs to come off this pitch, man.
How is that a foul?
Saka's been awful today.
Are you kidding? That's never a foul in a million years.
We don't look anywhere near closer. I'm with you. I'm with Bertram. Smith Rowe and Nketiah for me. You've had more than an
Ben
hour.
White. And then you're putting your hand up for offside, Ben White. Are you for real? You muff up the clearance. Now Liverpool on the attack. Lucky he gets back. And Saka smashes the clearance straight to Martinelli, handball.
Guys, did you see Saka's stats? That is astonishing. 9 goals, 10 assists in 25 games. That is unbelievable.
He should easily be like mid. Almost, he should be on a lot more than that with the chances he's missed in the last 5 games.
But that's what separates him from Salah. That's what I'm saying. That's why anyone would say to you, Salah's the best in the world.
100%. Oh, yeah. Not even.
Oh, foul. That's Luis Diaz. That's Luis Diaz.
Is he booked? Has he been booked?
Yeah, he's been booked, yeah. No, he didn't get booked, did he?
I don't think he did. No, that was Elliot that got booked.
That's
Do you know what? Martinelli didn't even need to put his arm up there.
I know.
Got more than enough pace to get on that and commit Konate to a clumsy challenge.
So Liverpool are bringing on 2 teenagers. I don't know who they are. Number 84 and number 48, I believe.
Well, can we take Saka off and put Ranieri on, please?
Oh, mate.
Can we get Ranieri on?
He's not going to do that, Apollo. He's not going to do that,
man.
I would.
They're just there to fill up the bench. Yeah, we know we would, but they're just
it's
there
one
to
of Saka's legs fell off. He'd still play him. He'd just ask him to hop after the ball.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to get another drink, guys. Hold on.
Why is that
Trent's playing in midfield now.
Oh, they're looking to play longer now. They're getting desperate, Liverpool.
Oh, Havertz, control that with your left foot. You're clean through. Odegaard finds space. He plays Havertz through. Havertz goes to control it with his right foot. It goes under his right foot and through to the keeper. He's got to control that with his other foot. Jorginho looks like he's struggling.
Change it up, man. Arteta, please.
This is what frustrates us, Lewis. You know, you can see things are not working. You've got a player on the bench. Smith Rowe loves to run into the box late, but you can see he just doesn't want to put these people on. Has Eddie been on the bench for 76 minutes? What kind of a free kick is that? Most goals scored after 75 minutes is Liverpool with 17. Arsenal third with 11. Oh, here come Liverpool again with Jota. Oh, Jota. Oh. What a save, Aaron Ramsdale. What a save.
Oh, man, my chest is hurting, Gary.
So Luis Diaz, he wins the ball. He goes to the angle. He hits a shot low to Ramsdale's right-hand side. It's going inside the far post, but Ramsdale gets down, and what a hand that is to turn that around. He didn't see it. It come through 3 players, and he gets down and makes a brilliant save. And he gets up with a massive smile on his face.
Yeah, we're about to see that now. Look at Luton, though. Luton with 13 goals after 75 minutes. Luton, man. I think Luton is staying up, everybody.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think they're staying up.
Trent with the corner. Oh, it's off the bar. Header's onto the bar.
Yeah,
and it's put wide.
Save. That's a great save by Ramsdale. He gets down super fast. 18 says, just going to get
Diego Jota, man. He always scores against us, doesn't he? Always. He just headed against the bar from the corner. Free header.
I like the jam tarts too, 18. I like the jam tarts too, man. Yeah, Vincey, quality save. Look at the speed he gets down. Look how fast he hits the floor.
But you know the best thing about that save, Apollo, is that when he gets up, massive smile on his face.
Yeah.
Get up, Havertz.
I think he's done really well today.
He's given foul. He's given free kick to Liverpool. The Liverpool player, Havertz gets up. Liverpool player just doesn't get up. Just doesn't jump. Havertz is already in the air.
It's really frustrating seeing them hit the bar like that because he's unchallenged, completely unchallenged.
Saliba got up a bit too late there.
It's Ben White's man. Look, no, it's Saliba. It's Saliba, yeah.
No fouls, Odegaard. That's not a foul. Oh, God, that's never a foul in a million years. He was going down for the moment he turned. The moment he turned inside that gathering back, he was heading to the floor.
Somehow, guys, we are two giants in the Premier League, and we're still 0-0.
In fairness, we're only 0-0 because Liverpool haven't got Salah playing. A dangerous free kick now. Trent's going to swing it in.
Right.
Free kick comes in. It's in. Liverpool scored. Luis Diaz.
Wow.
He gets up. Ramsdale comes for it. He gets up, and the ball's headed in. Ramsdale nowhere near it.
Yeah, I mean, we just can't finish.
I don't know if it went straight in from Trent. The Liverpool fans are on the pitch. Luis Diaz is claiming it. They're letting off flares now, the Liverpool fans. Red smoke bellowing out. Let's see it again.
That's awful.
Jacob Kiwior, own goal. Ramsdale's just about to punch it, and is it Kiwior? Ramsdale just about to punch it, and Kiwior comes off his head and in the net. Nothing Ramsdale could do there. Even if he was on his line, he's not going to save that. It's right in the corner. But Kiwior, he doesn't really get off the ground, and Ramsdale's going to easily punch that.
So, guys, the only thing that I want to say is, how did we go out of the League Cup? It was Ben White's own goal against Liverpool, against West Ham. Yeah.
And Eddie's on now.
It's a bit too late for that.
Yeah.
It's a bit too late for that. What do you want Eddie to do in the limited time that he's got?
Yeah, it's nonsense management. Sorry, nonsense management.
I mean, what is Kiwior thinking of there? It's a great free kick. It's a great corner.
Yeah, it was a great free kick. I don't think it was a free kick anyway. What a ball that is by Trent. Oh my God, that's obscene. Darwin Núñez, Luis Diaz. He tried to chip Ramsdale. Embarrassing, mate.
Yeah, isn't it funny when the chips are down? Bertram says that Kiwior closes his eyes there.
Well, I don't think he didn't get off the ground. He was kind of just reaching up, and that's why it flicked off the outside of his head. And even if Ramsdale's on his line, he's not going to save it.
Come on.
But why Eddie's on? After 8 because we've gone 1-0 down. If it was still 0-0, he wouldn't be on the pitch.
No, it's stupid. It's just I don't understand it. It really winds me up. Especially when, I rate him really highly and half the fan base don't like him. You can't do nothing. And look at his record at the Emirates. It's just unbelievable. Yeah. Too many chances. We have had, 12, 13 chances?
That's their first. They haven't even had a shot on target, Liverpool, have they? Saka's still on the pitch.
We scored it for them. We scored the goal for them.
Cut in. Oh, too slow. That's a foul. But Saka, he gets played through by Odegaard. And as he's running, he's 1-on-1, but he slows down and allows Darwin Núñez time to get back, who fouls him, and Arsenal have a free kick, not too dissimilar position from the one that Trent floated in for the goal.
I mean, in all honesty, Liverpool's quality has just come to the fore, in my opinion, because at half-time, they had 2 shots, none on target, and in the second half, they've got 11 shots, 2 on target. They've just dominated play. Whereas we've done nothing. What have we done in the second half? Absolutely nothing. We had that chance with Saka, and Saka missed it. Easy chance from 6 yards out, and Saka doesn't even hit the target.
How is that, ref? How is that a goal kick? Are you kidding? Havertz fix it on. It comes off a Liverpool defender for a corner, and the ref gives a goal kick.
Yeah, at some point, you got to hold your hand up and take the blame for such an awful performance. And actually, the performance hasn't been that bad. It's just what's going on in the final third. So many chances. We've had 17 shots, 5 on target, guys. I say that again. Some people might be moaning about how bad we've played or the performance. It's got nothing to do with that. We've created 17 shots, 5 on target.
Well played, Saliba. Saliba's down.
We are creating the chances.
Saliba's...
We're just...
Oh, did Ben White?
Unbelievable.
This is what happens, man. You don't take your chances, you will get punished.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, but even the chances we've had, we haven't even looked like scoring. And you got a guy sitting on the bench that scores for fun at the Emirates, and he can't get a look in, and he only gets brought on when the team go 1-0 down.
Yeah.
Difficult. We just did this to them. I don't think Liverpool have done anything to, in my opinion.
No, they haven't.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's us gifting games away because we don't want it. There's no urge. There's just nothing. Come, lads,
you can say Odegaard doesn't need to make that tackle. If you're going to make the foul, put it right out on the touchline. You can knock the ball out for a throw. Needless free kicks and you got a guy like Trent who can deliver a ball. You're putting yourself in danger straight away, just by conceding free kicks in areas where he can pass the ball. Oh, Martinelli, what are you doing? Goal kick.
You should never have taken Nelson off. It should have been Saka.
I don't know how Saka's played 86 minutes. I really can't tell you. So Liverpool haven't lost since the 1st of April when scoring first. They've won 20 out of 22 and they've drawn the other 2.
You know when you're watching this game and you're like, Arsenal should have been at like 3-4-0 up before Liverpool even got that one goal. And the longer it goes 0-0, the more confidence grew into Liverpool. And
you can see it in the last 10-15 minutes, Liverpool have been in the ascendancy.
And same thing I said. Vincey said Arteta has the right to be frustrated by these missed chances. Poor, yeah. And as me and Gary said, Eddie Nketiah scored 17 goals in his last 22 home starts. So what does Arteta do? He decides to leave him on the bench today. Very smart, Arteta. You're a genius.
I think you can leave him on the bench. It's not a question of leaving him on the bench. It's 70 odd minutes, and we haven't looked like scoring. So surely after the hour, you've got to think, right, well, this is not working. Let's get this guy on. So Trossard and Smith Rowe coming on, and it looks like Kirior and Havertz going off.
Why does he do this with 5 minutes to go? Why does he do this?
Mate, that change, mate, those changes make no sense at this time of the game.
But it's like you're saying. It's like you're saying you're not good enough to start. You're not good enough to come on after 60 minutes or 70 minutes.
We're just going to help.
I'm going to give you 3 minutes. I'm going to give you 3 minutes to come on and change the game. It's ludicrous.
I don't get it. I don't see what Arteta's seeing.
I think the only person that sees what Arteta sees is Arteta, because I can't see how it makes any sense.
I don't understand. And Trossard has not been good of late. He's not been
just
good
shoot the ball, man. Odegaard and Saka playing nice 1-2, another 1-2, and then Odegaard always looking for that little pass that was never there, and it's cleared, and we have it back on the halfway line now.
Why is Smith Rowe come on with 3 minutes to go? Is this a wind up? Is this a wind? I think this is a wind up, lads.
If I'm ESR, I'm leaving in this window. I'm knocking on the gaffer's office and saying, listen, I want to go in it.
Yeah, me too.
Like, I'm going.
Guys, if you can remember 2 years ago, him and Martinelli was alternating at that position, and Martinelli eventually beat him out. But that wasn't to say that Smith Rowe was any bad. It's just that Martinelli at that time was playing exceptional football. But it's still.
But then it hasn't helped that ESR picked up injuries when he did. Like he was just getting back in, got injured, getting back in, getting injured.
That's a dirty challenge, grabbing back.
Yeah, I agree.
Brilliant turn from Odegaard. He's just racing coming onto the edge of there, and he gets taken clean out. And that is such a late, dirty challenge, but just knee high. Drops him down at the knee.
If you're bringing Eddie on for 10 minutes, he ain't going to do nothing in that time. Eddie has proven that he's not that much of an impact player coming off the bench. In order to get the best out of Eddie, play him at home and then play him for the full game. He struggles when he's away from home, and he doesn't impact the game after in the last 5 or 10 minutes. He just doesn't. I'm his biggest fan, but I can admit that, like every player, he's
up. We need something here. Come on, Arsenal. Oh, and Darwin Núñez has almost headed it into his own net.
God,
the cross was floated in. Núñez gets there first, just behind, and he's almost headed it into his own net, just past the post. Corner Arsenal.
It's just our luck that he doesn't head it into his own net.
Well, he's so bad, he couldn't hit the side of a barn door.
We can do it in our net, but they can't do it in theirs. It's just a run of the mill. We need to get a goal here. We cannot lose this game.
Oh, Odegaard, why are you playing that ball? All you've got to do, Odegaard, all you've got to do is just help it back into the area. And Liverpool on the break with Diaz. Well played, Aaron Ramsdale. It was 3 against 1. And Rice has been taken out. Free kick, Arsenal. But you take that yellow card all day long. Because Arsenal was on the break there and Liverpool had plans forward. See, now, I just want to see, like, Big Gabby put up front and just knock that ball long, man. Forget this ticky-tacky, whatever you call it.
But it's like
nonsense.
It's 4 minutes added on. It's just not even enough time to affect the game. What's Smith Rowe supposed to do in 6 minutes?
That substitution makes no sense.
Yeah,
Like I said, you're not good enough to start or come on after the hour or half time or 70 minutes, but I'm going to give you literally 5 minutes and I want you to go out there and save the game for us.
Yeah, that's just like... do you remember when Arteta tried to do that with Pepe and Pepe sat on the bench? You remember when he goes?
Rice.
Remember when he goes? I think it was against Sunderland. The rest of the guys are getting up to warm up. And
Ben White with a decent cross. Trossard was winding up for the big volley, and the Liverpool player just gets it on it. Another corner.
Pepe goes to Pepe to warm up to go on, and Pepe just sits in his seat and doesn't move.
Yeah, I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy that goes on for 2 minutes.
yeah. Pepe just after that, man, you knew that Pepe was gone. Pepe just said to him, I've had enough, I'm done. And all of you guys were going crazy in the stream. I was laughing my head off and I was standing ovation for Pepe, man. I was like, tell him, son, you're right. Tell him, I'm done. Get me out of here, man.
And the corner's claimed by Alisson. And that looks like it. Literally a minute to go. Núñez has it down by the corner flag.
We've just given the game to them, man.
Yeah.
That's a massive psychological blow as well.
The foul.
They've got to come to the Emirates again in the league.
Yeah.
Push everyone forward, man. Ramsdale, come and take the kick. Trent got mad on the match by the look of it. Yeah, Trent. Oh no, Trent got a yellow card. Why is Ramsdale not taking the free kick?
So, guys, this would be back-to-back games, including the loss at West Ham, that we've failed to score at home.
Player of the match is Konate for Liverpool.
For what?
So here's the joke, yeah. Jimmy Jones saying Liverpool. Yeah, Liverpool are not been great. They have improved in the second half, I must say, but they've not been great today. We've had 17 shots. Jimmy, we've had 18 now. We've had 18 shots today, 5 on target.
See, you're trying to control the ball. Are they dumb?
This is a second game in a row, back to back, that you've not scored at home. You've had 2 games now without a goal.
And it's 2-0 Liverpool. Diaz rifles it into the top corner.
Jesus.
But when you watch it, Gabby has the ball and he's trying to control it. Just hook it back into the danger area. He's trying to control it. The ball gets nicked. It's 3-on-2. It goes across to Diaz and he smashes it into the top corner. Ramsdale, no chance whatsoever. But we don't need to give the ball away there. All Gabriel's got to do is just hook it back up in the air over his head.
Oh, my God. So, guys, this is 3 losses in a row. 2 back-to-back games at the Emirates with no goals. We are in a proper mess right now. We're in it right now, guys. We're in it. There's no 2 ways about it. The West Ham game was a bad performance because we had our chances there. The Fulham game, we didn't turn up. I thought today the reaction, first of all, I thought the system worked really well for us. The problem, as I kept saying to people in the forum, is that the midfield just wasn't getting the job done. We should have had a double pivot in there with Jorginho. He's done that. Arteta's fixed it. Yeah. Today, we've created chances, an abundance of chances, which we wasn't doing against Fulham. They've had 18 shots, 5 on target. But hear the joke, yeah? This is the punchline. The guy who scored you 17 goals in the last 22 games at home, he was on the bench today, so he didn't start. I like that you benched Martinelli because he's been dog crap this season. But the midfield worked. I was happy to see what was happening with the midfield, and they gave chance after chance after chance. You can't ask for no more than your midfield to give you that many chances. If you've taken 18 chances, yeah, and had 5 goals on 5 shots on target, then that's on your front men. That's on your Saka. That's on your Havertz, because they had the most chances today, and they didn't get it done. And
but Saka was appalling, Apollo. Saka was as he played 94 minutes, 95 minutes there.
Yeah. And how many shots? 5 or 6. I just don't like. There's no excuse for it. It's just poor. And Saka's a guy. I'm surprised with Saka because he's been so productive. He's been so productive. He's got you so much. 9 goals, 10 assists in 25 games, and you'd expect more from him. Some of the
but maybe he just needs a break. Maybe he's been running to the ground and he's just got no more to give.
Yeah,
the things that he was doing, maybe he's so jaded and tired, he just can't do it.
Yeah. So the question is, should he started today?
I would have liked to see Smith Rowe get an opportunity today. It was like, you want to play your best players. I understand that, but we've said before on streams, Tony's mentioned it, you've mentioned it, I've mentioned it. It's like Saka has been brutalised by this manager. Come off the bench when we was 3-0 up against Fulham, was it? Didn't need to even be on the pitch. You can't keep running these guys into the ground because sooner or later they are going to break. And it looks like Saka and Martinelli have broken. They're physically drained and mentally drained. They haven't got that much more to give. But what done it for me today was, you're looking at Havertz up front. He had five opportunities in the first half, and there was only one shot that remotely tested Alisson, which was easy for him, bread and butter. You know, muffed up the header, muffed up a couple of other opportunities, and then you got the guy on the bench, Eddie, who is probably going to get a better strike at goal away than Havertz managed in them 5 attempts, and he doesn't come on till we go 1-0 down in the 81st minute.
Yeah, and Jimmy again. Jimmy, this is the 10th or 15th comment I've seen from the guys in our forum who keep on saying Eddie isn't the answer. Well, first of all, Eddie's our backup striker, and secondly, we know he's flaws. We're quick to air out. You know, he's poor away from home. He doesn't impact a game when you bring him on late. But what he does do is he scores you goals at home. He's had 17 goals in 22 starts at home, which, by the way, nobody but me is bringing up. So it's just like we want to talk about, we want to first of all label him and say he's not the answer, but then we don't want to talk about the things he does well. We're not interested. But yet we're fine with Jesus playing 18 games and scoring only 3 goals. That's totally fine with you guys. It's totally fine to not call out Martinelli, who's got 2 goals in 18 games as well. It's completely fine to say they're fine. But for Eddie, who's got this season in the league, 5 goals in 10 games, but he's a don when you start him at home. It's totally fine to say Eddie's not the answer. But we're not allowed to say anything about anybody else. There's no problem with anybody else. This is all on Eddie's shoulders. He's not the answer. I just don't. I don't see that, guys. I don't see that.
Interesting. Oh.
I don't see that.
Hey, Bertrand.
I don't see that. Me and Gary's been talking about Ben White as well. No one's talking about Ben White. He's been awful this season.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's what I said, Apollo. Like, we was having a discussion on the Facebook page the other day, and it was like, someone said Ben White's been playing with an injury. Well, hold on. If an injury is making you play that bad, go sit down somewhere else. Don't be on the pitch. And then they said, there's no replacement. So you can't find that Ruel Waters can't come in and play a couple of games or 1 game to give Ben White a rest, or you can't go 3 at the back. Saliba, Gabriel, Kivior. You can't change it around. No way, no how. But you're having to play a player that's so badly injured, his performances have been turd.
Yeah.
So finally, our form is catching up with us. The late goals that we have been scoring to save ourselves have dried up, and reality is setting in. So our manager cannot manage his way out of a paper bag in a game.
I agree.
That's 101 times. I'll say it again. His strategy is the same. He only makes his change when we go down a goal or late like Wenger used to. He doesn't make change to change games. Today is when we went down, he made a change, as he normally does. Saka has been awful of late. And you guys... And I understand Saka is young, but he's not young in football years. This is 5th year, 6th year. And his stats sounds great. When last has he played a good game? And he's always playing. Because we always say he'll come up with something at the end. Well, you know what? It's dried up now. And it's tiresome to watch, frankly. He has no right foot, and Tony sitting here giving me a hard time about his right foot. Where's the right foot? Today was a perfect example. That ball he kicked wide shows you he has no right foot, no control over it. He can put a ball in the top corner with his right foot because you can swing it and it goes someplace. He has no right foot. But this is not about Saka. Because our defense and midfield are okay. Our entire forward line is atrocious, the way they've been playing. And the question is, was last year an aberration? Because the previous 2 years, we scored over 50 goals, less than 60 goals, even though Lacazette was here and some of the players weren't here. We scored over 60 goals, 50 goals, 50 plus, 50 plus. Last year was 80-something. This year, we're trending to score about 60 if we get to that notch. So our offensive part of our game is not there. And your defense can only keep players out for so long before they acquiesce. So, but I go back to the manager. Why is Smith Rowe on the bench? Why is Nketiah on the bench? What does Havertz do? Havertz was lost today. All the ball he gets on his left foot to take a shot, he's trying to massage the balls and going nowhere. And I think he's trying to justify the £65 million. And Apollo owns some of this. Because Apollo keeps giving me stats about Havertz. And I kind of want to see your stats, Apollo. He's not what we need. It's a wasted £65 million. When we have players like Kudus we could have bought, or more dynamic players to help us get there. It's going to be a long season. I'm focused on top 4. I'm not focused on league. Because you look at our form throughout the entire year. We got carried away at the beginning of the season because we're getting last-minute goals against Luton, for example, to save us. That's dried up. So now we're struggling big time. Which player look out there that can score a goal?
You know what as well, Bertram? I think what also has become apparent to me is that the saves Ramsdale was making kind of papered over the cracks.
Yes.
Because he kept us in so many games with big saves. Liverpool last year, Bournemouth at home last year. 2-0 down. He makes a fantastic save to stop us going 3 down. And this year, when we've got Raya coming now, them saves ain't being made. Look at it as any way you want to look at it. Them saves are not being made. The saves that Ramsdale was making kept us in games and allowed us to go and win 2-1, 3-2, 1-0. We haven't got a keeper that's making them saves now, and it's starting to show. Everything is starting to fall apart because he wants to control the game rather than playing free-flowing football. The personnel is not right. You've got Smith Rowe. Like Lewis said it perfectly well. If I was Smith Rowe, I'm knocking on that door tomorrow morning and I'm saying, get me out of here. Because if you're not good enough to come on that pitch and play for Arsenal, but you're only good enough to come on when the team is losing, that doesn't make no sense to me.
Yeah, I thought the first change today was Havertz. I thought the second change was Saka. I don't think those two were producing anything to justify being on the field. I thought Saka's been bad for a while, but it is what it is.
Rich Nelson had a good game.
The manager have to live with this. The manager have to live with this because I don't think he doesn't know how to manage games. I've been saying that from last year. He's not a good game manager. He's just a poor game manager. He may be good on the practice field. He's just not a good game manager. He does nothing in games where I walk away saying that was a brilliant change in the game. Whether it's whether we go 3 at the back, whether we go
because that's because we've never seen it, Bertram. We've never seen it. He's never done anything to affect the game.
All right, guys, let's get into the player ratings. But before we do that, let's have a look and see what some of our chat room guys are saying. Concrete Jungle says he's a reactive manager. He also says bringing on players to save the game with 5 minutes left. Yeah, that really just left me and Gary deflated. I mean, Lewis was like, I'm going to switch it off. And I actually turned mine off at 99. I turned mine off at 93 minutes with a minute to go because I can't. What's the point? I don't know what he's doing. And the thing is, I think what's frustrating Concrete Jungle is the players that he's bringing on are players that can actually change their game for you. Now, I don't want to be, you've heard from Gary, you've heard from Bertram. I don't want to be too negative in the face that today we were looking for reaction. And I actually thought, first of all, I thought the team sheet was very progressive. Good on them to drop Martinelli. We needed that. We needed to see Havertz at the 9 because we've been asking questions about him all season. And to be fair on him, every time he slipped into the 9 when there's been substitutions late in the games, he's looked decent. So that was a question I think Arteta needed to ask himself. What am I going to get out of Havertz at the 9? So he changed it up today. First half, and for most of the games, we dominated Liverpool. Yeah, so I've got no issues with that. But it's all about the guys at the top just not getting it done. They're just not, chance after chance after chance, just not getting it done. And the frustrations then comes with, first of all, Saka's form. And then, and I know Bertram's had his say on that, but I kind of side with Gary in the terms that if he's exhausted and he's played too much football and this is the FA Cup, then don't play him. Simple as that. Don't play him. The second thing is with Havertz. Okay, you tried it, but you could see from the first half he had 5 shots. If you gave Eddie 5 shots on target, what do you think is going to happen? So I think that the Eddie substitution should have been done at halftime, knowing all the defining factors that we do about coming on and trying to be the impact player, which Eddie is not. It's one of the things that he doesn't really have in his game. You bring him on at 5 minutes to go, he's not going to get you that last-minute goal. It just isn't. But Smith Rowe does. Smith Rowe has a record of coming on late in the game, but you brought Smith Rowe on in the 87th minute. You gave him
that's ridiculous, man.
And that's the thing where you knew you had a problem with the amount. At halftime, you saw the stats. You knew you had a problem. You had guys on there, loads of chances, which we wasn't doing against Fulham, and nobody was bringing. So make the change then. Bring Eddie on. Bring Smith Rowe on. Maybe bring on Trossard. Trossard's not been great for the last 3 games, but maybe today could have been his day. But the problem is make those changes before you lose a handle of the game. So then the goal goes in from Liverpool. You're starting to panic. And then Arteta starts to do all of his changes then. No. You've got to do those changes when the game is still active. And quite frankly, I mean, this loss wasn't entirely on you because your forwards were, your star players, again, let you down, man. I mean, we're going to do the player ratings in a minute. And your guys are getting 4 out of 10s every week. You ain't going to be successful if your top players are getting those grades every week. It don't matter what manager you are, you're not going to be successful. Vincey says, especially when the forms are off form, our squad is imbalanced with the tactics Arteta wants the team to play and doesn't make the right adjustments. That was a case in the last few games, but I made the point about Jorginho. And you know what, Vincey? He made that change today, and we looked a much better team. Tactically, setup was, for me, it was spot on. And I actually thought Jorginho was one of our better players today. The midfield was tight. Midfield did a good job today. I've got no problem with that. And that's what I'm saying. So I don't want it to sound like everything has fallen down, but there were some good things today. And so we got to be subjective as well in terms of the balanced view. I was happy to see that development. But I definitely take your point in terms of what was previously happening before. Today's only problem for me was just the finishing, because everything you asked for was there. Goalkeeper made some brilliant saves. Defense, the recoveries from Saliba and Gabriel were spot on. Midfield controlled the game. I don't have a problem with the setup and the tactics today. My problem is what was going on up front. I think this is Jimmy. Jimmy says Cedric is the bloody replacement. The guy said, yeah. I mean, there's not much he can do there. Vince is saying to Bertrand, with space last season, we could use the movement and hurt teams. Without that, we struggle. Yeah. And guys, we have to, again, give credit to the quality of the Premier League. If you prove that you can do something really, really, really well, just like in Formula One, if you build a car that can do something really well, be sure that your rivals and your opponents are going to copy you or counter you. And this season, they've stopped our wingers from playing. That's what they've done. Now, you've got to now show your mettle as players and a manager to show that you can get past that. And right now, we're not doing it.
Apollo, you're not talking about the manager. The manager is the problem. The manager is part of the problem.
No, hold on. Repeat what I just said, Bertram.
No, you said what people found out, but you're not talking about the manager.
No, I did. But I did, Bertram. I did. But you play it back on video because it's one dimensional manager.
Annoying.
No, I said. I'll say it again, Bertram. I said that teams have figured us out, and the onus is now is for the manager to show that he can change that, and for the players to adapt past it. And we're not doing that. That's where we're failing right now, on 2 fronts. Yeah. Managers not being able to get that funnel play which we need and change it up. And not just that, but support. Well, I talked about this every week. The support today, guys, today was the first game this season that I saw support on the left-hand side. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I saw Havertz and Nelson interlink play on the left-hand side. I was like, where's this been all season? And some of the passes, Gary, back me up if I'm wrong, some of the interlink passes from both those players and the creativity and the chances and crosses coming in were absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it was decent, but where we lacked it today was on the other side of the pitch, which is why Saka shouldn't, rest him, bring him on. But when he's playing that badly, a player can't play 95 minutes in a game. Ben White hardly gets forward. Again, if he's injured, you've got Cedric sitting there. I always thought Cedric was a decent player. I never had nothing against Cedric, but apparently he's good enough to sit on the bench, but not good enough to get any game time. It makes no sense. And I hate to say, I agree with Bertram. The biggest part of this problem is, for me, has become Arteta. His refusal to give certain players minutes, to make substitutions at the wrong time, to not change something when we could all see at half time what was missing, who was needed, and he just you keep it the same. You say, look, I'm going to give you 15 minutes to go out and get me a goal, prove me wrong. It didn't come. 70 minutes.
We saw that in the last game. This is why I'm saying, Gary, talking about balanced view here. This is what I'm saying. In the last game, we saw that. Why on earth is Arteta putting Ben White into a double pivot? And we said, well, I said he needs Jorginho in there next to Declan Rice. What does he do in this game? Put Jorginho next to Declan Rice. So he is making adjustments, and that's why I'm.
Yeah, but it's not the adjustments we need, Apollo, is it? It's not like you said. The defense in the midfield today was okay, but it was the forward line where we was lacking. Odegaard, he wants to do too much with the ball. He's always looking to take a player on to that final pass. A couple of times today, he's on the edge of the box. Cock your left foot and hit the ball. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, he's overplaying.
You know, the overplay is killing us in certain areas.
It is. We're not direct enough. We've lost our directness.
You know, Martinelli comes on. He roasts Trent twice in a minute.
Yeah.
And he can't pick out a pass.
Yeah, because he can't pass. Martinelli can't pass the ball. But isn't it funny? You get one thing, but not the other. Concrete Jungle also says this window's not. It's not because we don't have any money to spend due to FFP. So
yeah, but I mean, we've had this conversation, Apollo, in the chat. You can't tell me that nowhere in world football, right, is there a striker we can go and loan, right, that's going to come and help us out for 6 months. Spurs have just nabbed Timo Werner. Now, I'm not saying that he's what we need, but he's a world-renowned striker. Whether you like it or not, he scored a bag for the goals in Germany.
He failed in the Premier League, remember?
He failed in the Premier League because he was always offside. Yeah. But maybe Spurs have prepared to take a gamble on a player that failed in the Premier League. Yeah. So why can't we take that gamble? For 6 months, what are we going to lose? It's a 50-50 chance, isn't it? They're either going to flop or they're going to score a bag full of goals. But nowhere in world football, you can't tell me, no one can tell me that nowhere in world football is there not a loan we can go and get. Fair enough, we haven't got the money to do what we want to do. That's understandable.
We need loans right now.
But nowhere in world football is there a loan that we can't do to improve our front line. Yeah, I'm not having it.
If it's out there, I want to see it because I can't. You know what the scouting networks are like in worldwide football now. I watched the
Middlesbrough game yesterday. They got this Ivory Coast guy up front, Latif Latte or whatever his name was. Latif sound like a coffee to me, but he caused all sorts of problems for the defenders he was playing against. Somewhere in world football, there's a guy that we can go and get that's going to improve our forward line. No one can tell me any different.
Okay, guys, we got player ratings coming up now, but we want to hear from Vincey. Vincey, I got your comment there, and I understood I took it in the wrong way, so I understood that. But Bertram, did you finish your point? Because I'm going to go into Vincey, and then I'm going to go straight into player ratings.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to say. I mean, if you sum it up, we're on a ridiculous losing streak. We're not scoring goals. We have a lot of possession, but it's ineffective possession. The manager is a system manager. He cannot manage games. He's awful at manage games. It's not he won an FA Cup with Emery's team, with Emery's strategy. He has won nothing when he has owned the team with his players to date. He's choked 2 years in a row. Apollo, I'm going to call you out. You keep making excuses for him. The excuses are running out. They're running out.
I'm starting to feel that way as well, Bertram.
Yeah, I think you've been over the last 2 weeks. I've been with Gary on most of the streams, and Gary will tell you I've been hitting Arteta's head against the wall. Yeah. And if you look back at my ratings for Arteta, he had his last 2 games, 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10.
Do people realize that Smith Rowe, ESR is a goal scorer? Do people realize ESR is a goal scorer?
Yeah, exactly.
He's a goal scorer. He may be injury prone, but he's a goal scorer. He scored 11 2 years ago when he was injured. He's the one that saved us with Lacazette and Saka when we were struggling. Yeah. He was scoring goals for fun. He was a top goal scorer. What you get on the field? And we have Havertz up there playing around in a circle, playing his 2-yard pass because he's his pet. Like it's a joke.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Let's go to Vincey, and then we go into the player ratings. Vincey, what was your overall thoughts about today in your balanced view? What was the things you liked? What was the things you didn't like?
I just think it's probably the one game that we've created some really good chances, quality chances. The sad thing for me is the fact of the wastefulness of them. I thought Liverpool defended well, knowing that we're going to be strong in the attack, and we've just shown what we've shown the most part of the season to be poor finishers. But the reason why I came on is just to point out. I think you read out my comments slightly wrong, because
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
the points where they were raising about the wingers and bringing on ESR and the way our Arteta wants to play. The thing is, pace is where Arteta wants on the flanks, and you can see that this season where he will have Saka and Martinelli playing. Now, last season they were phenomenal on both sides. They're not phenomenal this season, but you're clearly seeing Arteta's reluctance to substitute Saka because he needs pace in those two areas, and it's to a fault because Saka today was so poor. He could have quite easily have switched. You could have even switched, taken off Saka and put Martinelli there, because he's played there in positions before, and it would have been no difference. Nelson could have stayed on, yeah, but he wants pace in those two areas. So when he took off Nelson and he brought Martinelli on, it was, yes, Martinelli improved, but we all remember, ESR's best season was in that position where Martinelli's played, and he scored goals, but he doesn't have the pace that those players has, and this is the problem that Arteta has with how he's assembled the squad and how he wants us to play. Because if those two players drop in form, we lose about 15-20% of our potency in our team, and we're suffering. We're really suffering. And he's got to sort that out. The team is so imbalanced where we are not using our pace. I think we're wasting a very good opportunity when we get in situations in games. And that's basically what I was saying in my comment.
But Vincey, Saka doesn't really have pace. Martinelli has pace. Nelson has more pace than Saka. Saka doesn't run by anybody. When did Saka ever run by a player?
It's not so much the running. It's not so much the running, Bertram.
He didn't beat Robinson once. He didn't beat Gomez once today. He played
Bertram, it's not so much the
pace. He didn't beat them once.
It's not so much the fact that he beats a player. It's what he does with the ball in open play. And that's where, when your comment last season in how we were playing in open spaces, these guys were killing teams because you could play the 1-2 and they were in open space. This season is highlighting they are struggling. When space is removed from these guys, they can't get. They're not able to replicate what they were doing last year. And the way we move the ball, that's why we're struggling. We're struggling so poorly in that final third that where when teams sit back today, it's like, well, hold on. Liverpool were very defensive, but we had very good opportunity to score. But our finishing was so atrocious. Yeah. The game should have been over by half time.
Yeah.
And there hasn't been really a game like that where you stop and you think this season, even in the Premiership, where teams have been low block us, that we've had these good chances to score. It's shocking. It's shocking finishing, and that's where the team is imbalanced. This is where we're missing. When I said earlier on in the stream, where we're missing two minds in Odegaard, where if we had a player with Odegaard's mind, two of those on the pitch, we can use that pace. But we just so one-dimensional. We are easy. I've said it before at the start of the season. We are easy to break down if teams are prepared to break us down, because we don't make changes. And when players drop form, when Saka and Martinelli drop form, we're a shadow of a team.
Right, so let me get rid of this banner here, and then we'll go into the player ratings. But I just want to see what last season in the comparison is in terms of the goals. We can see here,
I'll leave you
Martinelli.
guys for play matings.
All right, no problem, Vincey. I
Okay, bless
appreciate
you
that,
guys.
mate.
See you later, Vincent.
Cheers, guys.
The goals last season, Martinelli had 15 and 16 in all competitions. He's got 2 in the league this season, 2 goals in 19. Martin Odegaard, he had 15 goals in the Premier League, 17 in all competitions, and he's got 4 goals, which actually is the average for midfield players in his position. So it's just that last season, he tied Cesc Fabregas and Frank Lampard's record of 15 goals in the Premier League as an attacking midfielder. So last season with Martin Odegaard, that was exceptional. But this season, 4 goals. He's on about par what the average is for the midfields at the moment. But honestly, I would expect him to still be more than that. I'd still expect him to be, except because, you know, I'm standing there. He's my favorite player in the team. I'm standing there saying this guy is going to be better than Lampard. He's going to, in terms of talking about Fabregas, and he's been, he's and he's, instead of keeping it simple, it's what keeping it simple has made. That's where he's made his name, just by easy flowing, working hard, pressing, and rotating the triangles through, especially on Saka's side. But he's doing too much with the ball and he's keeping it for too long, and it's just allowing things around him not to develop because he's not hitting them quickly. The thing about strikers is they want it quickly, they want it now. They don't want you to sit on the ball because it allows the defense to bed themselves in and pack up the lanes. And then if you do that, then things just become difficult. And that's why I'm saying there's a lack in our direct impact play. We're too slow in transition. We're not quick enough. And quite frankly, it's boring to watch and it's easy to defend against. Bukayo Saka's got 6 goals in the Premier League this season. He's got 9 goals and 10 assists in all competitions. So he's there or thereabouts, although he's there or thereabouts. And one can talk about the actual performances, but however, the stats are there or thereabouts. Jesus had 11 goals. Remember, 18 in all competitions, but he only started 24 Premier League games due to him being out for nearly 4 months. And obviously, I do want to point out there that there was a time he had 10 games last season without a goal in the Premier League. But nonetheless, he came back stronger after the injury and was able to produce numbers. This season, he has 3 goals in 18 games. So he's averaging 1 goal every 6 games. That's our main striker. So we've got a lot of problems to fix, and they have to fix it, man. If they don't fix it, we're in big trouble.
I think one thing's apparent, Apollo, from what you just read out there, is that the over reliance on them players you mentioned, because, like you said, Bertram said it, you said it, Lewis said it, Vincey said it. You've got players there that are capable of coming and play a role, but he's just not using them. Smith Rowe can't get a look in unless it's 2 minutes at the end when we're losing. Eddie sits on the bench till we go down. And, things are not working. You need a goal. You've got a goal scorer sitting there. Doesn't want to play him. I just don't understand why. But 3 goals in 18 games, 2 goals in 18 games, 4 goals in 18 games from 3 players that's telling you that they've played every single Premier League game on the spin. It's not good enough. It's not good enough management to allow these players to carry on, doing nothing.
Yeah, I agree. Look, when the season started, and we've made sure we've kept you guys up to date with our thoughts on the management style, the weakness, the strengths, and we've been actually more subjective than any Arsenal YouTube channel out there. Maybe Deluded Gunner and Curtis Shaw has touched on this a little bit, but not as much as we have. And rotation is Arteta's biggest weakness. And this season, has he improved there? Yes. Is it good enough? No.
No.
Because I can go back to, let me just point out something to you guys as well. There's two things I want to talk about. I don't want to get too tangent off because we got to do player ratings. Let me take that off a bit so that we can key on the topic heading point here. So last season, when Mahrez was at Manchester City, Mahrez had 22 starts for Man City. He was an alternate player. Yeah. Phil Foden had 20 starts for Manchester City. He was an alternate player. Jack Grealish also had 19 starts for Manchester City. And we all know Jack Grealish don't start. He's an alternate player. So these players that I've mentioned didn't necessarily start for Man City. They were more impact players. And Foden's playing now more because of De Bruyne's injury, and the rest of the other guys have been sold. Yeah. Although Grealish has started to play a little bit more. He started him in 3 games, wasn't happy with him, and then put him back on the bench again. But my point is, and me and Gary and Tony and Bertram and Vincey, we've all been saying this from the beginning of the season. You got to get these guys playing time. And he hasn't done that. How does your winger Martinelli go 18 games? And these are games he started and only score you 2 goals. How does that happen?
It's a travesty. It's a travesty, simple as.
So after 10 games, you didn't know this guy's form was off to make a change. You played him an extra 8 games to get a reaction out of him, and he still hasn't delivered for you. Jesus, I know he's missed Jesus actually missed 8 games through the beginning of this season. In that time, Nketiah got 5 goals in 8 starts, including the hat-trick as well. So Eddie did his bit. And a lot of people knock Eddie, but he does his bit as a reserve. He comes in, he facilitates, he replaces Jesus. He did it when he got injured last year. 9 games, 4 goals. Yeah. And by the way, I want to mention in those 9 games, Eddie played. What people don't want to talk about is because there was no backup striker, he played 98 minutes every single game, not just in the league, guys. In the cup games, they did not rest him. He played in Europa, in the League Cup, the FA Cup. In those 3.5 months, Eddie played every single minute, every single game, and
even while carrying an injury as well.
Even while the ankle injury, exactly. So you lot keep knocking Eddie Nketiah. I don't understand it. I don't get it because he's doing his job as a squad player. He's coming in when your main striker is either off form and not getting it done or injured. But yet, Nketiah is not good enough for you guys. That's what I don't understand. There's nobody has come back to me with any tangible, reason why he should not be a member of our squad. I don't get it.
I think football should
it.
have a substitution for a manager. I want to substitute Arteta.
Who do you want to bring on?
Albert Headphones.
Anybody. I'm sorry, just tired of him.
So my point was that the other point, guys, and this is a scary one. Some of you guys do watch Charles Watts. He had the stream with James Benge over the week, and they was talking about the lack of minutes, which I've covered for the whole season. Every week, me and Gary are here, and we're talking about Reece Nelson's minutes that he's played, and we've not been shy about it. This is the reason why I'm saying this single topic here we talk about every week to try and enforce to the fan base that there is a serious rotation problem at Arsenal Football Club now, and only Mikel Arteta can fix it. And he's failing on that level. Like I said, a 20% improvement on last season is fair and clear to see, but it's not going to be good enough to win you the title this year. You need to be about 60-70% of rotation compared to what he had done last year, and we're not seeing that. We've got guys, and this is the stat here, guys. Between Nelson and Smith Rowe, they've played a total of less than 400 minutes.
Yeah, that's not good enough.
Yeah. To tell you how bad that was, last season, Rob Holding played 850 minutes for Arsenal.
So that's basically saying that between Nelson and Smith Rowe, they played 4.5 games.
Yeah, which means he don't want them. Yeah, that means he don't want them. If you're if you're playing those two guys together in tandem, the combined numbers of minutes for those two players is just 400 minutes in over half a season, then that's telling me that you don't favour those
I mean,
guys.
I know I've said this before on a couple of streams, and I know Mr. Cox doesn't agree with the saying, but when you're coming in cold, you ain't up to speed. Yeah, it's going to take. So say if Reece Nelson he starts today, I personally think he should have played the full 90 or close to the full 90.
Yeah.
Then you'd have to start the next game, the next game, the next game, the next game, 5-6 games in a row to get up to speed, to be up with the speed of play. Because when you come in cold, you know, like you say, you're going to bring on a substitution like Eddie and Ketty with 10 minutes to go. It's going to take him 5-6 minutes to get up to the pace of the game.
And history shows you that he doesn't impact a game like that. We've got the data to analyze that Eddie in the last 5 minutes isn't going to get you a goal. He's not that type of player. He doesn't come on and impact the game well. Trossard does. Smith Rowe does. So, you know, give them 20 minutes, 25 minutes. They'll impact you a game.
Yeah, but he doesn't. It's 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes. What are you going to do? 7
minutes he brings on Smith Rowe. I mean, what is that? What are you doing?
It's just, we have to laugh and we're going to cry upon him.
What are you doing bringing on Smith Rowe for in the 87th minute? Oh, God. All right. So let's go into the player ratings, guys. It's a pure madness. Right. Player ratings. Let's start with the first. I'm a Ramsdale, guys. I'm going to give him 7. I thought he had a very good game today. He had 3 really, really good saves, especially the one from Luis Diaz, where he had to get down low quickly. I thought that was probably his best save of the game. No clean sheet for him, but his overall performance and distribution was really good. To me, in the past, when I've seen him this season, he looked a bit timid, in second mind. Today, he was very assertive in his decision-making. And that ball he hit over to Reece Nelson in the first 5 minutes, boy, if we saw that more, then David Raya wouldn't be an Arsenal goalkeeper today. He just wouldn't. We'd probably still have Matt Turner in reserve because
Turner definitely wasn't good enough.
I think it comes down to confidence. Like, you know, I talked to a goalkeeper coach the other day, and he was saying, you know, I've got goalkeepers that are more talented than my starters, but they're not confident. Whereas my starting goalkeeper, he's got the confidence to play the ball out the back and express himself. Ramsdale's play was too timid for that. He showed no confidence, and then when the going got rough, he got the jitters. And we saw how that worked out when he played in games against Liverpool and Man City. He just got absolutely roasted. But whereas I've seen Raya against Man City this season, and he looked robust. You know, yeah, they nearly licked one off him, but some of the balls he was playing over to Jesus to beat their press was brilliant. And Raya's actually improved over the last 3 or so games in that regards. But yeah, I'm going to give Ramsdale 7. Really good game from him today. That's what the manager wanted to see. Ben White, I'm going to give him a 3, and I'm not going to have any comments on it because I've talked about Ben White over the last month. I did think he got stuck in a little bit more today, but what has happened to this guy? What has happened to him? One of the most consistent performers over the last 2 years for Arsenal, and he just looks a shell of himself at the moment. And maybe it's confidence. I don't know. If you've got a winger in front of you, 5 yards in front of you, and you're not going to attack him, and you're giving him all the space, that tells me that your overall demeanor is brittle. It tells me your confidence level is low, that you're going to go up to him and get beaten and get exposed. So you'd rather stay back than play the angles. And unfortunately, in the Premier League, with the quality of wingers that you got, if you do that, man, you're just going to get massacred. And that's been his season so far. And he's been at fault for 4 goals. And today, maybe I was looking for a reaction for him, but I didn't see one. Saliba, I'm going to give 7.5. I think Saliba was my man of the match today. Oh, God, if he wasn't on it today, we probably would have lost by maybe 3 or 4 goals today. what was it, Gary? 3 or 4 tackles, recoveries he
Yeah,
made on the back end?
one really good one on Darwin Núñez, but then
Yeah.
what made it even better was he played the ball out to Odegaard's feet while on the floor.
Yeah. Absolutely fantastic stuff. He's my man of the match today. Gabriel again was quite tight today. I didn't see him making any mistakes. Just overly thinking about it now. No, I think he was just as good as Saliba, but Saliba just touched it a little bit because of the chances. He was the last man in those situations. Kivior, I'm going to give him a 4. And look, guys, I said it last week and I'm going to say it again. You can be as hard as you want on this guy. He's a centre back. He ain't no left back. There's nothing he's done which has showed me he's a left back. Nothing. Tomiyasu can play centre back and left back. Tomiyasu showed me a lot. But at left back, Kivior ain't showing me nothing. At centre back, Kivior shows me a lot. So, this is an El Nene thing when they moved El Nene to centre back and left back and all of you lot were dogging him out. Guys, he's a centre back. And he's only playing there because we're down to our bare bones. Yeah, Tomiyasu's gone. Timber's injured. We're down to our bare bones. Zinchenko's injured. So he's only playing there for that reason. So you guys can go and scour him as much as you like. But quite frankly, he's a plug-in. And so I don't expect nothing much from him. And we're not seeing anything much. The own goal was bonkers because how do you do that? Same thing with Ben White and West Ham in the League Cup. When we were under no pressure and Ben White heads it into his own net. I don't get it. Jorginho, fantastic game from him today. This is what I was asking for, the tactical change, and it should have been done at half-time against West Ham. So obviously Arteta's looked at the footage of the West Ham game, Fulham, the Fulham game, and he's seen that the first of all, we need a double pivot because of the lack of protection and transition our forwards are getting, the lack of service, and he fixed that today, and that was because of the tactical change Arteta made with Jorginho. I've been calling it for it all week, and he's done it. So well done to spot in that. And then the strikers, then it's up to them to make it happen, and they didn't make it happen. But I thought Jorginho was excellent today. I really thought that he was demanding that possession in the midfield and really, really controlled it. Declan Rice as well gets a 7. And I thought he was superb without the ball as well. Great pressing, won 4 balls today in the midfield. Look, no problem with the midfield at all today. No problem with it. No problem with the tactics in the midfield. No problem with the performance. No issues with it. Martin Odegaard, he overplayed today, man. He's trying to do too much. And when you try and do too much, you're out of your comfort zone. And it's a frustrating performance then because you're all over the place. And right now, he's all over the place. There's no composure in his game. He's the most composed player, apart from maybe Zinchenko, on our entire team and Jorginho. And his performances look ragged. They look desperate. It's just all over the place, and that shows you that he needs to. Have you ever heard of the saying, you need to slow down in order to speed up? They need to have a quiet word in the captain's ear after this game while they're watching footage, because Odegaard is just putting in some ragged performances. He knows we're struggling. We know they're struggling. You don't make things worse. That's just inexperience, really. Don't make things worse by coming out of your zone, because I mentioned after 60 minutes, I said to Gary, we need you, Odegaard. We need the captain to grab the game by the scruff of the neck, manage the game, manage the tempo of the game, and grab it by the scruff of the neck and bring us back into this game. And he didn't do that. So I know he's 24 years old and it comes down to experience, but someone's got to put their shoulder around him today and talk to him about the performance and what is expected at this level to bring our team back into it. Strikers. Oh, no. Does anybody walk out of it? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Reece does. I'm going to give Nelson a 6. I thought it was a ballsy performance from him today. I thought he started slowly. I thought after 15 minutes, I was like, Reece, You're the dribbling guy. You're the guy that picks up the ball and goes past defenders. What's going on here? And then Havertz came to support him, and they put through 20, 25 minutes of just some fantastic, the best interlink play I've seen on that left-hand side all season. The best interlink play between them, created 5-6 really good chances, which Saka mostly fluffed. But just absolutely showing his quality today. And it's just, would you believe that this guy has had less than 100 minutes of football for the entire season? This guy right here, we just played, Reece Nelson. Yeah, that guy. Just 100 minutes. And look what we've been seeing from Martinelli for the whole season. And Reece gives you this. Oh, absolutely unbelievable decisions by the manager to not play this guy more. Havertz, yeah, I had my say on him. I'm a fan. I like the guy. And I've seen some good performances in relief. Say if Jesus goes off or Eddie after 70 minutes. I've seen him come on, play well, hold the ball up well, interlink play. Let's not forget when Arteta made those adjustment changes against Man City and he brought his substitutes on. It was Tomiyasu, Partey and Havertz that won in the game. Yeah? Talking about managerial adjustments there. And it was Havertz that made that goal. He had 3 defenders on his back holding him off, lays the ball off on Martinelli. Martinelli hits it, it deflects and goes into the back of the net. Arsenal beat Man City 1-0. That's the type of performances we've seen from Havertz at the number 9. But today, yeah, I think I've settled that argument for myself. I'd rather see him at the 8 than the 9. I just think that Eddie's the better alternative in the middle. And so I'm going to give him a 4 out of 10 today for Havertz. Saka, I'm going to give him a 4. He had so many. What did he have? What, 6 or 7 shots, Gary, out of the 18? You're on mute, Gary. You're on mute. You're on mute.
Yeah, something like that. I don't think anyone was on target. I don't think he hit the target once.
Absolutely. There are 2 clear-cut chances on the 6-yard line where he just goes over the bar. I just like this. And like I said, I turned around to Gary. I said, this is the difference between a Salah, who people have said is the best in the world, and Saka, who was young. He's upcoming. And at some point, that's the throne he wants to take. But it's frustrating. It's frustrating. And I don't want to get too hard on the guy, man, but you stunk up the joint today, Saka. You were awful, man. And maybe you need a rest. And I don't think
there's anything too wrong with being hard on them, as long as it's constructive and we're not here blood this family this and all that kind of rubbish.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's constructive criticism is more than okay.
Agreed. And for Arteta, I'm going to give him a 4, and I'm going to give him a 4 because I saw things in your game last week. And I know you saw them because you made the adjustments that I was talking about in the midfield and the lack of supply to the strikers and that stability. I know you saw them because you've changed it. But what I saw today at half-time, adjustments should have been done then. Yeah, not Wenger time. Wenger time is 70 minutes. Wenger set a watch on his wrist every game at 70 minutes. That's when the substitute. You're doing a Wenger, mate. You're being too predictable with your substitutions, and you don't have to do them at 70 minutes every single game, mate. A good manager makes substitutions when the game is calling for them. And myself and Bertram at halftime said Eddie should be running out here at halftime, and he didn't. You didn't change it. It's shocking that you've created 18 chances today, and you didn't have a guy on there who scored 17 goals in his last 22 games at home, and is a fox in the box. I can't be more disappointed, really. And I'm the guy that's sitting on the other side trying to defend Eddie and Nketiah. And then when I see games like this, where he could easily have had a couple of goals today, it's just shocking, man. You know, I don't know what to say. Yeah, it hurts because you see games at home like remember last season, Man United was all over us and Eddie scored them 2 goals and won us the game. We won 3-2. Eddie got man of the match and he scored in the 90th minute as well. And it's games like that that makes me proud. It really does. But when I see stuff about today, it's like you're fueling the fans' fire of Eddie. The reason why they're saying Eddie's no good is because of moments like today where he just doesn't get the time to shine. And quite frankly, in those first 9 games when he got 5 goals, I wouldn't have dropped him. I wouldn't. I would have put Jesus on the left. Yeah, I would have put Jesus on the left and carried on playing Eddie. You telling me in the last 9 games Eddie wouldn't have been able to get you anything? You know, it's hard for me to take, man. And I have to listen to this criticism every single day. But anyway, that's my peeve. I don't want to go on too much about it. Bertram, do you want to go second? And then we'll go to Gary.
Okay. I'll do my quick
ones across the ball from Bertram.
No, it's not. Ramsdale, I'm going to give a 7.5. You know, I think Ramsdale's a walking error. I thought he was very, very good, by the way. And I love his command in the box, which something Raya lacks, actually. And that's why sometimes I struggle with the Raya versus Ramsdale, because just his size alone gives you some comfort. Raya doesn't have that size. So I give him a 7.5. Ben White, we need upgrade. I heard he's getting a new contract. I don't think it's deserved. I'm going to give him a 3. Saliba, I give a 7. I think Saliba had some challenging times today, actually. More so than Gabriel. I'm going to give him a 7 and give Gabriel the 7.5. I think Gabriel had a very good game.
Yeah.
I thought Saliba had some challenging moments in the game, even though he played well. And we were playing with the 2 centre-backs back, and they were penetrating in the second half. Apparently, they just scored more goals in the second half, given that we were pressing to get the equalizer. Kiwior, I'm going to give him a 5. I thought he was much better than the last game he played in. I thought he struggled. He's not a left back. Let's give him at least 2 or 3 for just being out there. But he's not a left back. At least we didn't play inverted with him today. 1 or 2 times he went to the midfield, but I think he was much more aggressive today. He may have been taught to be more aggressive. I was concerned because the first ball played over his side, he missed it because he misjudged it. But I thought he did okay and linked up with Nelson a bit. But he's not a left back, and that's why he struggled. Jorginho, I agree with the 7. I thought he played well and should have been given more game time. You know, surprised he was out of the starting lineup for a while. Rice's performance have fallen off, and Rice is not party. I keep telling people that because his offensive skills or offensive ability is not there. I'm going to give Rice a 6. I don't think he affected the game as I would expect. I'm going to give Odegaard a 6. I thought he tried really hard. You're right about him being too ball dominant. Doesn't allow the space to open up to get the ball. He's always trying to be on the ball. So when he comes deep, there's only 3 forwards up there. So therefore, you have much more people back. Instead of going forward, let the space get created. Then you can receive the ball further in a more dangerous position. He's trying to be on the ball too much, and sometimes he's crowding out the play because then we have 3-4 people in the middle of the park making 2-yard passes. That's not a good thing. Saka, I'm going to skip Saka. I'll come back to him. Nelson, I'm going to give Nelson a 5. And the reason why is he should have scored the first goal. I'm sorry, it's a baby goal. In fact, Alisson made it easy for him. He came, he was in no man's land, just had to lob it over his head. He tried to bring it. It's more difficult to bring the ball down to go around him than just lob it over his head in the corner. So I have to take at least 1 off of that. I'm going to give him a 5. But I thought he worked hard, and he should not have been removed from Martinelli. Should have been Saka being taken off because he can play on the right.
100%.
Havertz, he should be his best position right now for us, frankly, to be honest, is right to the left Arteta on the bench. That's his best position. He should not be on the field. I'm sorry. He's playing like he's playing football, where he played the 2-yard, 3-yard, 5-yard pass. I'm sorry, that's not the football. We need to move the ball, be dynamic, run at people, create things, be busy. He's not busy. He's playing his own pace. He's not helping us. We're playing slow already, and he slows down the game more. So I'm not grading Havertz because I'm just annoyed with him being on the field. I know he scored 4 goals, but trust me, look at his entire 19 games he played. Not the answer. And I'm going to keep harping on all the other alternatives we had for 65 million, which we didn't buy. And I'm not going to get over it till the season is ended. Now, Saka, a very good footballer who can beat his man, who can run by his man, who doesn't have a right foot, but has great stats. And I'm trying to I'm trying to really consider what does that all mean, because it's very contradictory in itself and doesn't make sense. How do you have such wonderful stats? You take out the penalties, and yet you have such deficiencies in your game, and it's getting worse. And 3 of our 5 front players are left footers with no right foot. They can't even kick with their right foot at all. They may swing it and get lucky, But the problem we had today, we saw it. Saka getting ball in the box on his right foot, and the ball goes no control. He just kick and it goes wild. Or Havertz getting the ball, even on his left foot, for Christ's sake, and patting the ball and patting the ball and patting the ball until defense recovers. It's frustrating. So I don't know. I can't figure out Saka out, and I can't figure out Havertz. And I thought Saka should. I know people making excuses about rest. It's not a rest thing. Watch his game, analyze his game. He's brilliant at dipping right and going inside. He never goes outside, or really ever goes outside, which you need to do sometimes to pull the defense and create room for Odegaard or create room for your center forward. It doesn't happen. My manager must be good on the training field because we do come prepared and we have a system. His game management, though, it's hard to describe what it is because it's not game management. It's something, but you're not managing the game. When you are reactive to put on a player when you go a goal down, and I saw it 2 years ago at Man U when he did that, put on like two forwards and the defense got all lost, don't know what they're doing. That's not game management. That's how you manage game. Don't know when to substitute, what time to substitute. It's like he's a fan watching the game, and he's so into the game he doesn't realize what's happening in the game. And that's why I believe that soccer should adopt what football does in the States, Apollo, wherein you have someone in the stands who can sort of feel totally about what's happening.
He has that. He has that, though, doesn't he? He has that, Bertram. There is a man in the stands that's watching the game.
He's not using it. Because I honestly doesn't respect the person, I understand, because if you watch the game like how we watch it, we got that sort of more bird's eye view. You can see on the field that some things are not working. And today, Nketiah for Havertz was so basic because you know what? They didn't have their best defender center halves there. Yes, Konate is good, but the other kid is young. Gomez is not that quick. Trent can't defend. Yeah. And we don't score a goal. With one defender in their back four at 1.5. The kid is decent. But Gomez is not that great. Hasn't been great. He's not a left back. And Trent cannot defend. Martinelli came on 2 times. Look in the air and he's going by Trent. I'm telling you, Trent cannot defend. He's a brilliant on the ball, as we saw with his cross and the shot that he took, almost scored. But he cannot defend himself, and we didn't burn him today like a lot of teams do. And for our substitute, why am I putting on Smith Rowe in the 87th? Like, that's so, you know what? If I was the player, I'm not going on the field. I know that sounds really bad, actually, but I'm not going on. My knee's hurting. My knee's hurting, my calf is hurting. I'm not going on the field. Why you put me on for 87 minutes to do? There's 4 minutes of extra time, 87 minutes. They're going to stop. They're going to slow down the game. I'm going to get about 3 minutes to run. It's a joke. And Smith Rowe is a brilliant footballer who doesn't really have a position, I would admit. But he's brilliant on the ball. He's so smooth and graceful. He can score a goal. Why not give him 25 minutes, 20 minutes? Havertz is not playing well. Saka is not playing well. We have options up front on the bench, and you're still not playing them. Why are you giving Nketiah $100,000 a year and $100,000 a year for what? Then you can't even sell them because nobody can afford to pay them $100,000 a year when you're trying to sell them. So anyway, it's frustrating. I don't think Arteta can do any better. I think Arteta's maxed out. No, we won't fire him, but he's maxed out. I've watched him for a while now. He's maxed out. If Pep is not guiding him, he's not doing. He can't do it. I'm telling you, if Pep has covered his paper up and he can't cheat anymore off Pep's paper, and he's struggling to do better. So hopefully things will change. But we're in a rut, and I have no idea how we get out because unless those kids start scoring, we're gonna struggle. And my last point is this: this is 4 years now. 3 years we haven't scored over 60 goals. Last year we scored about 80-something goals.
88. Yeah.
So is it an aberration, the 88, or is it 50-something the norm? That's the question.
Yeah, it's a good point. We don't know that yet, but I will say one thing in defense of Arteta because you guys know I'm a big Arteta fan. I don't want to hide that, but not just that. Is I believe that I'm a big American football fan, and there's one thing I've seen in the NFL over the last 10 years, and that the teams are trying to get rid of the old guard, the old ideas, and bring in these young, new, enthusiastic head coaches, and it's happening all across the globe. And I see Arteta as the future of Arsenal, but he still has a ways to go. And the only thing I can really say that's unfortunate for him this season is that you had so much promise with Partey playing alongside Odegaard and Rice in the midfield, and you've just not had that. And then there's the Yuri and Timber thing, which is probably the thing he's most frustrated about. That's, I remember talking to his wife Arteta's wife, and that's the thing that she really could say. And when I heard it in her voice, I could really hear that was just like, that's in terms of, that's really going to turn out and let us down this season. And so when I sit back and look at it and reflect on it, it really has, because I believe that with a stronger team, then we'd have been on par or close to what we was doing last season. Last season, we were having 5-point, 8-point gaps at the top of the table. This season, we're competing
Apollo,
for the top of the table.
Apollo, we didn't have Timber last year, but
I know. But we had Party.
Yeah, we had Party.
Yeah, but and I just I want to get to the stage where those guys are back, and we're very close to that, guys. But it doesn't matter about the fundamentals with them. The strikers are still not getting it done, and maybe you take Saka out of the equation, but just don't lean on Jesus and Martinelli because they've let you down. Show us that you've got some steel inside of you, and give everyone else a chance. Put other options in there, and that's what I'm not seeing. Arteta this is a really massive point in his career where things can either go terribly wrong for you or things can start to come back into the place. So he really needs to sit down. It's not just him. There's a whole coaching staff there. And it's time for them to really sit back and reflect. And they've got a couple of weeks to get this right before our game on the 20th. But yeah, at the moment now, we're going to have a pretty bad 2 weeks where the fan base is in meltdown. We're out of 2 cups now, and we've only got Champions League and League to focus on. So it's going to be tough days ahead, guys. Tough days ahead. Gary?
Yeah, I agree. I just think, we could have done with getting through this round today. It was all there for us on the plate, really. They had Salah away, Van Dijk not playing, they're holding midfield away, and we kind of just choked. But I agree that Arteta he's on the edge of failing massively, and the tide is going to start to turn, and the more pressure is going to mount on him. And it's up to him to make the changes. We'll see whether he can obviously do it or not, but it's not looking great at the moment. But my team player ratings today. So Ramsdale, happy to see him get the start today. I was quite surprised that Raya didn't start, but glad that Ramsdale did. Made a couple of fantastic saves, especially the one from Diaz that you mentioned. Come through 3 players, saw it late, gets down and gets a very, very strong right hand on it. But he bounces up off the floor with a massive smile on his face, as if to say, that's what I can do, Arteta type thing, which was great to see. So I'm going to give Ramsdale 7.5. Ben White. You got Cedric sitting on the bench, right back, plays for Portugal. Yeah, now I've always liked Cedric. I was quite happy when we signed him, to be honest. And he may not be what Arteta wants, but nevertheless, he is a right back. If Ben White is so injured that he is putting in performances like this, he shouldn't be anywhere near the team. Yeah, if you're not fit enough to put in a decent performance, go into tackles, get forward to support your winger, shut down players that are attacking you, you shouldn't be anywhere near the team. It's a real problem because obviously Arteta refuses to play Cedric, refuses to go free at the back. He's persevering with Ben White, who may very well be so physically and mentally drained because he's another one that plays every single game, every single minute of every single game. So maybe he's hit that wall where his body can't physically take it, and this is the repercussions that we're seeing. But he needs to improve 100-fold for me because he's been shocking for quite a while now. So I'm going to give Ben White a 2. And when our fullbacks are misfiring, it creates more work for the central defenders. And I think in a way we're very lucky that we have two strong central defenders that can actually get us out of trouble. So Saliba today I thought was outstanding, made some outstanding tackles, especially the one on Luis Diaz, was it, or Nunes?
Yeah.
You know, when he gets down, he makes the tackle and on the floor has the presence of mind to have a look up and play the ball out on the floor to Odegaard. So I'm going to give Saliba 7.5. I thought Gabriel was just as strong. He doesn't really give much away. I'm going to give him a 7. Kiwior, echo your sentiments, Apollo and Bertram. That the guy is not a left back. He will go and do a job there. But this is something that Arteta's created, and I had this conversation with a guy yesterday morning. It's okay having these utility players that can play right back, centre back, left back, holding midfield, right wing, wherever. They can play in multiple different positions. But ultimately, what you want is a player that's a professional in his one position. So Kiwior will go and do a job at left back, an adequate job. And like Bertram said, the first ball that got played across, he missed it because when he's facing his own goal, he can't use his left leg. So he tries to use his right leg and he misses it completely. And it looked like it was going to be a shaky afternoon for him. But then he comes sort of back into the game, and with the own goal, he doesn't really get off the ground to get his header away. He's kind of just reaching for it, stretching his neck, and it glances off the side of his head. And obviously Ramsdale's come out to punch. But I think even if Ramsdale was on his line, I don't think he saves it because it's close range, it's a glancing header, and it's going to go in the corner of the net. So Kiwior was unlucky with that. But I'm going to give Kiwior a 4.
Would you bring Kieran Tierney back?
Yes, I would. We had this conversation the other day. I would bring Kieran Tierney back tomorrow. And people saying he's always injured, he's missed this games in Spain already, blah, blah, blah. You're looking at a 5-month period. Yeah, you're looking at 19 games in the league and whatever's in the Champions League. Now, the guy doesn't have to play every single game because obviously Zinchenko will come back at a point. But there's Halsey, and obviously Tomiyasu comes back. We don't know what state Timber's going to be in when he comes back towards the end of February. You know, he's had a really bad injury. It may take him another 6 months to a year to get fully back to where he was before the injury, if he gets back to that at all. So I would bring Tierney back tomorrow. And I know I posted that thing on the Facebook page, and a lot of people were commenting on that. But the whole point of the post was not about what Tierney had said or hadn't said. It was about the bits in the post that I agreed with. You know, but I think people misinterpreted it as I was putting it on there as Tierney said this, Tierney said that. That was never the point.
Okay, yeah.
You know, that was never the point. So I would bring Tierney back tomorrow because it's costing us at the moment with Zinchenko playing left back against the likes of Salah, you know, against the likes of the top wingers that are going to go past him because he can't defend. Tierney will bring you that solidarity. And you don't have to have this I don't get this inverted thing. For years and years, football was played. You're a left back, you're a right back, you're a midfielder, you're a midfielder. Arteta wants the fullbacks to become midfielders to create more in midfield.
Yeah,
it doesn't need to be done.
But remember, Gary, remember the innate tactic is for a single pivot. That's
I get that.
Yeah.
But I don't see how it needs to be done on a regular basis. Sometimes you have to set up your back four, your players in the middle, and your players up front. The wide men up front come back to help the midfield. The midfield go to help the defenders. And that's how football's played. I don't see how you have to have in every game your right back tucking in, your left back tucking in, because we've seen on occasions Zinchenko will go to tuck in before the ball has even reached its target. And then when it gets broken up and comes back, Zinchenko's nowhere to be seen in his position because he's already inverted too early.
Yeah,
surely you should only invert once the ball is in a certain position on the field.
Yeah,
but I don't really understand the whole inverted fullback in every single game.
we've seen variations of it last season when Xhaka came in to replace the left back as Zinchenko got forward. This season, we've seen two things. We've seen Odegaard drop deep and join the double pivot. We've seen Havertz play a soft double pivot 8, and then we've seen him in an advanced 8. When he went to the advanced 8, he had 3 goals in his last 4 Premier League games when he shifted into that more advanced role on the 8. But he's good either way. You know, he's been scoring goals when he was advanced, but when he played the soft 8, his statistics was literally rivaling Declan Rice for tackles, recoveries, drills.
I mean, so it all depends what you want from the players, though, don't it? If you want
the Ben Rice thing did not work. The Ben White thing in the double pivot, that was a complete and utter total flop. That was awful.
And that was against Fulham, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, Gary.
Sorry, say that again, Bertram?
I'll say this, Gary, which is I'm a fan of innovation, but sometimes we try to make the simple things complex. I have no idea why.
Bertram, there must be something wrong because me and you are agreeing on a whole heap of things, man.
I do agree.
It must be 2024, Bertram. Is our year to agree?
Yeah, I do agree with that. The fact that I've got to explain it in that way shows how complicated it is, and it really
I mean,
that way.
It's okay. It's okay being innovative, like you say, Bertram. But sometimes you're overcomplicating things that don't need to be overcomplicated.
Yeah.
So answer to the question, I would bring Tierney back. He would be on the plane now. Anyway, back to the player ratings. Jorginho, I thought he had a really good game. Looked like he was getting a bit overrun. He looked like he was a bit slow to a couple of balls in the first half, but he kind of grew into the game and he was solid. So I've got no problem with his 7. Declan Rice, I thought, had a quiet game. Not really what we've seen from him, but that's to be expected. No one's going to be at a certain level throughout the whole every game. Sorry, no one's going to be at a certain level for every game that they play for every minute. So you can expect a slight drop off from some of the performances that he's put in. Because don't forget, there was 5 or 6 game period where he was like absolutely outstanding from first minute to last minute, scoring goals, breaking up things, making tackles after tackle after tackle. So Declan Rice, I'll give him a 6.5 today. Odegaard. Now, this is where it's going to get a bit messy. Odegaard. I love him. I think he's a super talented player. But I also think his overplay is killing his game. You know, every time he gets the ball, he wants to beat a man and then beat another man. And I think what made him so successful, like you touched on, Apollo, was the fact that he just kept everything so simple. When you got the ball, one touch, release, go again, play the little 1-2s. A couple of times today, he's had the ball on the edge. And the telling one was in the first half where Rice breaks up the play with the press. It falls to Odegaard, and he has a simple ball to put Havertz clean through. And he plays it behind Havertz, which Havertz then had to turn, and the shot he ended up getting away was, as you said, a back pass. But Odegaard, 9 times out of 10, puts that ball on a plate for Havertz to go through and strike 1-on-1 with the keeper. But then again, this is another guy, let's not forget, and it's the story's starting to repeat itself. It's another guy that's played every minute of every game in the league, in the Champions League, now in the FA Cup. When does this guy get a break? How can you keep up the levels? Because he's the first one to press. Never stops running. How can you sustain them levels over a whole season? It's impossible. So is this another case of a guy hitting a wall where his body physically and mentally can't go no more? Because it's beginning to look that way with the whole front 4. Yeah. So Odegaard today, I'm going to give him a 4. I thought he could have had so much more of a say in that game, but through the wrong choices, he didn't. I'm going to leave Saka. I'm going to come back to Saka. Reece Nelson, I was very happy to see this guy get a start. The stat that you read out about him and Smith Rowe only having 400 minutes between them in half a season. That's 4.5 games. That's 4.5 games that they played between them this season. And it's just simply ludicrous. It is total mismanagement of two fine young talents that were deemed good enough, Reece Nelson, to get a 5-year deal on 100 grand a week, and Smith Rowe in the beginning to get the 10 shirt and be a major part of Arteta's plans. Now, you can't tell me just because Smith Rowe is injured, all of a sudden he's fallen so far away that can't get a start in the FA Cup or can't come on other than in the 80th, 90th minute. It just makes no sense. But Reece Nelson, I thought he'd done okay. Good link-up play with Havertz. I thought he should have scored. He should have tried to lob Alisson in the first half. Made a couple of good diagonal runs, which we haven't seen from a player in a while. So I'm going to give Nelson a 6.5. I thought he was unlucky to be substituted, and he could have done with getting a full almost 90 minutes under his belt. Kai Havertz. I like Kai Havertz, and we've said on the stream, Apollo, many times, it's the work that he does off of the ball, which is sometimes more important than the work he does on it.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, he played in the advanced state. He scored 3 or 4 goals, important goals. Important goals. Got the winner at Bournemouth. So he looked like the tide was trying to turn. And today, he got the start up front, which was something that I know you was calling for.
Yeah.
And in the first half, it looked like it was going to work because he had 5 opportunities. But when you look at the opportunities he's had, he hasn't really tested Alisson. One save he made Alisson make, and that was pretty routine for a keeper like him.
Should have scored with the header.
He should have got the header at least on target. He's got up and he's absolutely muffed it. So it didn't work. Although it didn't work, it kind of did work with him in the 9. But the game was calling out for a different option. So Havertz, I'm going to give him a 5. Now we go to Mr. Bukayo Saka. In a way, I feel kind of sorry for Saka at the moment because since he came into the team as a 16-year-old, he has carried that team on his shoulders from a boy to the man that he is now. He's been through a lot, missing the penalties for England. He's come back stronger, took the first penalty he could take for Arsenal, scored it. So
improved his numbers every year as well.
Yeah, he's going to come a time where he's going to drop form. But again, is this down to the fact that he's basically been whipped by Arteta? We've all said it. At some point, what is it that you say, Apollo? Is about breaking? How do you put it?
Yeah, it's a bend but don't break situation.
That's it. So, and it looks like Saka has broken. He looks like he's got nothing left to give. He's not the player that's going to run past a defender like Martinelli or a Nelson. He's the player that's going to get the ball and beat the player with skill. But he's not even doing that now. And he had opportunities today, and he didn't get one on target. The worst one was the one that come to the back post, and it's like he almost didn't know what to do. He didn't know am I going to chest it? Am I going to head it? And in the end, he kind of just stuck his right foot up and he just skewed it out of play from where he was standing.
Yeah.
And you think, like, in that game, he shouldn't have played 95 minutes. Nelson should have got switched. Martinelli comes on, Havertz comes off, Eddie comes on, and we go like that. Yeah. So I'm going to give Saka a 2. I thought today it was probably one of the worst performances I've seen him put on in an Arsenal shirt since he came into the team. And I think he's in desperate need of a rest. But I don't think he's going to get it. I don't think Arteta has the faith in other players. And I think he needs Saka to be producing on a regular basis. And if Saka's not, he will just keep playing him in full games until he either plays himself back into form or he breaks and he's out for the season. I think that's how it's going to go.
Yeah.
Arteta. Right, Arteta. I was happy with the team that he put out. I was happy with the first half performance. I thought we was extremely dominant. couple of inches away from going in 1-0 down when Trent strikes the bar. I don't know if Ramsdale gets a fingertip on that. I'm not sure, but after having all that possession and chances, to go in 1-0 down would have been criminal. I think we all kind of saw the need for a change at half-time. It didn't come. I don't necessarily have a problem with that, because sometimes you give it another 10, 15 minutes to see what's happening, and then you make the change. And it still didn't come. 65 minutes, 70 minutes, 75 minutes, still didn't come. Only came when we went 1-0 down in the 79th minute or 80th minute. And that's just simply not good enough. His in-game management is absolutely shocking. And I know that, Apollo, I know you love to say that he's only been a manager for 4 years and he's very young. But you know what? In this business, it's cutthroat. And if you can't get it right when you should get it right, you find yourself out of a job. Now, I don't think he'll get sacked. But also, if he's not careful, we will fall away so badly in the league, we will be 7th or 8th. And the worst thing that can happen is for that to happen, because obviously all the work he's put in to get us to where we are, you can't let it fall apart now. Drastic changes need to be made. He needs to get the teams right every time he's putting a team out. Players need to be rested, you know, and he's got to get it right. And I would have give Arteta a solid 8 today. You know, even if we go and lose the game, had he made the changes to try and impact the game earlier, he would have got a solid 8. But he didn't. He just didn't have a clue. He's just like, you can't see what's going on. You know, you got the guy in the stand. What, you're not listening to him? Do you think that you know better than everybody else? Is it Arteta's way or no way? Because no manager can survive like that. And if he carries on down that road, it will only end up one way, which is him getting the sack. And that would be a shame, because he's brought Arsenal so far in such a short space of time. So I'm going to give Arteta a 3 today. I thought the lack of changes when needed, the in-game management, you know, even in the last second, just put Gabriel Magalhaes up front, knock the ball long. Let's see what we can create some havoc. But it's just no general idea. And I think it's something that he's got to get a grip of, because I think the tide is starting to turn from a lot of fans that were pro Arteta, and they're almost thinking to themselves, look, maybe he ain't the guy. And that would be a crying shame if he can't finish the job that he started.
Especially because he's the one that's created that culture.
Exactly. He's the one that's brought us from where we are, you know, Champions League. Yes, back in the Champions League. Should have got it last year. Fell apart. Got it this year. You know, into the last 16 now. Got good chance to go even further. But he's got to solve the problems that he's created, because he's the one that has created them. You know, the change of keeper wasn't really a necessity. You know now, left back Tierney, because he can't invert like you want him to. You play Zinchenko at left back, even though you know he can't defend. You're asking players to go and play over here because we've got no cover. Like, the injury to Timber was a big shock. That was unseen. Partey also picked up injury after injury. We signed Declan Rice. So nothing really should have changed. The only thing that changes is a transition, because Rice can't do what Partey does. Yeah. But there's other ways around that. But it's something that he really has to get a grip of. Before it's too late.
I liked what I saw today in the double pivot.
Yeah,
and
me too.
I envisioned Partey being the double pivot with Rice, and then Odegaard being the advanced midfielder. And for me, that works, because we just have that much more of a solid foundation. Here's a question here from Cam saying, why though, Apollo? Why do you need it? The fact that it's causing us problems, why do we have to go with it? You have to go with it because that's your base philosophy. It's not something that, as a team, Arsenal has been using sparingly. That is Arsenal's identity. That is Arteta's identity. He spent the last 3 years, maybe 2 years, and I say that because his first 3 years was getting rid of the Deadwood, who couldn't facilitate the way he wanted to play. But in Arteta's first interview, this was when we played Everton at Christmas, and it was a 1-1 draw. It was Eddie Lundberg's last game. And Sky Camera said to him, what's your philosophies? What are you trying to do with this team? Arteta said one word: dominate. He wants to dominate teams. And he's been able to do that for long periods of time. We saw what happened at the first 17 games of last season was the best 17 games in Premier League history from any team. And we saw when the injuries started to happen with Partey and Ramsdale had a miscarriage. Saliba missed the last 10 games. So we all know the story. But it's my point is, and this is, you're not the first person that's asked this question. Let me get rid of the player ratings. It's hard to go away from your identity and your philosophies for something that your team, like take for instance, a Formula One car is built for going around a racetrack. It's not built for going around the roads. It has no heat management, no radiator or anything like that. It only gets cooled down by the speeds it does on the track. So it has to run in clean air in order to cool the car down. My point is that this Arsenal team is only built to work on dominating teams, creating overloads. Overloads, guys, occurs when one team has more players in a specific area than the other team. That way you can work your rondo, you can create your overloads and your triangles, and then that makes you dominate possession. I think from where we are in terms of Zinchenko and how that first started, he tried it last season. He saw the deficiencies in Zinchenko's game. He went out and got a Urian Timber, and that hasn't worked out. But that inverted whole thing is coming alongside the pivot, and it's helping to create the flexibility of the number 8 to cause those overloads in the midfield. And that's how Arsenal works. You can't go away from that. And going away from that only gives you one option, which I said is the double pivot. And it seems like he's doing that. So he's doing the only thing he can do to help that situation by bringing Jorginho in. And I'm really I haven't been totally happy with Jorginho's Arsenal tenure. I think he's been below par. But what I saw from him today is the benefits of having a Jorginho who's experienced, knows how to play, can read the game completely, and reading the game is so important in this aspect. And it's a role that's prominent to do what you actually want to do. Now, that's basically the overloads, but then the other thing is the isolation is, where you'll create, Gary, you all right?
Yeah, so I was just talking to my son.
Yeah. Where you're creating isolations. So that second part of it is what all Arsenal fans know well. And yes, there's a lot of tactics behind it, but to keep it quite simply, the build-up play, you see Odegaard, Jesus, you see Ben White, all of those players are around your star player, Saka. So when you look at us building attacks up on the right, you see Saka interlinking triangles and overlaps with all these different players I just mentioned. But what does that do? It creates isolation. It creates isolation with the left winger, who is Martinelli. So when you've done that, what you've done is you've isolated your left-sided player who's now one-on-one. He just has one man to beat. Yeah, because you've loaded everybody onto that side of Saka, and we've seen there's 5, 6, 7 defenders of the team trying to defend that whole circle. So when the ball gets switched, Martinelli finds himself in one-on-one. The problem with that is he can't beat a player. He can't beat a player. So first of all, we got a problem because he's not beating a player. Secondly, because he's not beating a player, he needs to be able to pass the ball into the center. So he doesn't have vision. So that means Martinelli's hurting you on 2 fronts. Number 1, he can't get past anybody. Number 2, he can't pass the ball. So that's where we are now stuck. We're in this ruck right now where you're kind of running out of ideas. All your options seem to be evaporating. And the missing link in that is Thomas Partey. Thomas Partey knows how to spot a pass. He can thread the needle. Yeah? He can absolutely thread the needle, and you don't have that. And what he does is just not only get the pass, but he holds onto the ball long enough he invites 2, 3 players trying to get the ball off him, and he fights those players off. He maintains possession. But the fact that he sucked players at him opens up holes in the back. He then slips the ball through, and then bang, attackers find themselves in one-on-one situations. That's the quick transition. We don't have that. It's not there. So now your build-up play is slow. You're overloaded on the right, and on your left guy can't do anything with the ball. That's where we are, in a nutshell. Just trying to explain what our problems are for, if anyone.
Yeah, that was very eloquently explained.
Yeah. Bertram, anything from you before we shut the stream down?
No, I hope we take some time to reflect. Well, no, let me rephrase that. I hope the manager takes some time to reflect on the team, the opposition, what we're doing, and try to figure out how to move forward, because what we're doing is not working over the last 5-6 games. And we're in the mid-season, so it's a time to pause, think about what we have ahead of us, think about the resources we have. Do we need to get a couple of loans to help enhance the squad?
Mm-hmm.
Are the injured players anywhere close to coming back to satisfy some of our needs? And then we plot forward. We do know we need a striker. We do know we need fullbacks. And we need a winger when the manager's confident with to replace Saka or Martinelli when we need to do so.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. Gary?
Yeah, no, I agree with Bertram again. It's something that he's just got to get a handle on. Somewhere out there in the whole wide world of football, there has to be a striker we can go and loan that's going to beef up our attacking options, and there has to be an option at left back, because obviously Timber's not going to come back till February. We don't know what state he's going to be in, like I've said. So it's a problem for the next sort of rest of this season. So we've got to get it sorted. A couple of loans, left back and striker, and the second half of the season, and see what we can do.
All right, guys. So that's it from us today. Again, it's a happy new year to everybody here. Today, Arsenal just got beaten by a Liverpool team who turned out to be very professional at their job. Arsenal outplayed them for much of the game, and then in the second half, they just seemed to have picked Arsenal off. Arsenal just so wasteful, guys. So wasteful. I mean, at this level, you need to be clinical. You need to get 1 or 2 chances, and then the ball goes into the back of the net. We had 18 shots, 5 on target, and if they kept on carry on playing now, they still wouldn't have scored. It just was all wrong. And let's not ponder on it. Let's see what happens. Next game's Palace, I believe, on the 20th. So let's see what they do, man. But thanks to everybody. Keep your spirits up, guys. A lot of football left to play. We've got a whole half season coming up. A lot of drama, thrills, and everything is going to happen within that time. But thanks for staying with us, guys. And again, I have to apologize for my lung crash. I really haven't put up as much content, but that's going to change. I'll try and get a little bit more busy with you guys now and give you my thoughts and views moving forward. So that's it, guys. Happy New Year. Speak to you guys later. Peace out, man.
See you later, guys.